valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
The Friends with Vivid Sign Company here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Vivid Sign Company here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Play ball! Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Need service on your home air conditioner? No matter what brand you have, just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
When the lights go out, every minute matters. Powerline helps LES respond to outages faster by linking your phone number to your service address. Get ready before the next outage at les.com/powerline.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in to Thursday edition of Old School 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Yet again, a Station of the Year finalist in the state of Nebraska. I know you just heard DP talk about that. Big moment for the station, big night. Honored, appreciative of everyone at the NBA and the voters for naming us once again a Station of the Year in Nebraska. Not possible without you, listeners. And of course, not possible without the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NFL vet, the black shirt, Jay Foreman. Happy Thursday, partner.
Yeah, happy Thursday. It's a great honor. And obviously when for me, obviously, and you too, Austin, you're from, Lincoln and stuff, but I just remember, what the ticket was like. And this is not saying anything in a negative way, but, because it was viable then, but what the ticket was, even when I was, really in the media realm of business or the media world, because I was doing a lot of TV, radio, just trying to, before it kind of blew up, getting a lot of reps. There wasn't a lot of online stuff way back in the day. And, remember, going to the ticket, doing a couple shows and talking to the other guys, and they're like, oh, you're not that serious about sports radios. It was, but it wasn't. And then, you got to tip your hat to DP and Rebecca. They came in, DP I always joke and always joke about it. Like, I remember just talking to like Greg Smith. It was like, yo, who is this dude walking around downtown Lincoln, just teleported out of outer space? Then, he got, started, on the ticket. Then he hit me up a couple times on LinkedIn, and then I came in and did that. And then, once he kind of went from that, online or on air talent, when he was with him and Steve or him and Tom Stevens, excuse me. Then he kind of was the manager or whatever over there. And then next thing you know, he had that vision and blew it up. And now obviously we're down here on 48th and O Street, and obviously have taken over not only Lincoln, but pretty much in my opinion, the whole state is the best sports radio station in the state of Nebraska, and making waves in the Midwest. I think Early Break is ranked up there somewhere in the in the Midwest. I think I remember last year or something like that. And obviously, we do very well with Old School, and everybody else on, shows on the ticket do really well, and appreciate the people that listen and text in and support us. But also, it goes without saying, you have to have, good vision from the higher ups, and you got to have good people that, can portray that, vision, excuse me. And, and that's why you go and you get, your recognition, with your peers in that realm. And I'll be honest. Just knowing the landscape of some of the people that are in the business and have been around since I've been back, since, let's just say 2011, 12, really heavy into it, 2012, 13, getting it, doing my media thing or whatever. And just, having the ability to look from the outside in on how they react to what the ticket has done, it's a lot of good things. It's, it brought a different mindset to it, took it seriously. Made people probably step up. Other competitions made us step up. And so I think, last night for, not only DP, Rebecca, but you and Jake was a great representation and honor, for what the ticket has done as a, individually and collectively, what we're able to do here, down here on 11th and O Street.
Fun to be in the room. It's I tweeted out last night. I'm proud to be part of it. Excited for the future. Humbled by the recognition, of course, hungry to grow, right? And that's something the DP talks about all the time. And so what you see now is not the finished product, right? To Jay's point, all the growing that the station has done. I've been here, since January of 23. So, 3.5 years or so. And to see the growth over that time frame, can only imagine what the next 3.5 years and beyond will hold. It's been about 3.5 years, about 4 years, actually, since Matt Rule joined Nebraska football. And Jay, we want to talk a little bit about progress for Nebraska football. But first, helping you get good progress on the road is Graham Tire Company, the sponsor of Old School. They're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. It's Graham Tire getting you to the places that matter most. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. And, Jay, we do want to get into progress, what that looks like for Nebraska here in 2026. I'll set it up this way with you. How big of a part of Nebraska's progress has to come from the quarterback position in Anthony Calandria? How tied in is his success to Nebraska's progress as a team and a program?
Oh man, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand because you're only going to win when your quarterback plays good football, right? Now you could have those outlier games where the defense is so dominant, and we've seen different teams do it, throughout the last 10, 15 years. But I think that he has to play well. He has to raise his level of play and be consistent and keep his turnovers down and, make the plays that Nebraska needs him to make, the winning plays. The Big Ten winning plays are different than the Mountain West winning plays.
Yeah.
There will be games where he's able to get loose. He'll probably give Michigan State some fits. But best believe the other teams will have a game plan for you on as far as you being off schedule. So we have to be really good there. So I think it's a direct tie, but then also I think it's the ultimate team sport, and the defense has to play well, more consistent. And look, you didn't stop the run last year. Teams are going to try to run this year. You got the majority of the players back, no matter if you have a new defense coordinator or not. They're going to see where you're at and see how much you want to really dig in the fight. So I think it's directly tied to Calandria, and I don't think it's a stat-driven thing. We've had quarterbacks that had really good stats in really big games or those electric games, and then didn't win any games at the end of the season, and so it's all for nothing. We've had quarterbacks that have been really, really good and efficient and won a lot of things and won big games and championships. So realistically, it's a he has to play winning football, and winning football is obviously the touchdown to turnover ratio being really, really good. And then also allowing Coach Dana Holgerson call the plays he wants to call and don't have any regrets based on somebody really playing like outside the norm of the quarterback position.
I've always put a lot on the quarterback in terms of raising the level of the guys around them.
I agree.
I said this a lot during the start of the Chiefs run with Patrick Mahomes, especially after Hill leaves and Kelsey's in and out of the lineup with injuries and effective, but maybe not at his peak. I still maintain that the best quarterbacks can raise the level of everyone around them, whether it is, increased production, whether it is, off the field with the standards or whatever. I think that just by nature of the position, so much falls on the quarterback's shoulders. And we know the adage, they always get too much of the credit and too much of the blame.
Sure.
That's absolutely true. But I do think that given the nature of the position, it's fair to expect a lot out of quarterbacks. But I also think what you've said, over the last, 3-ish years, 2.5 years about Dylan Raiola, where he needed everyone to be at their best around him to elevate him to his best.
Mhm.
It's on the quarterback to bring that out of him. But I think it also applies to Anthony Calandria, coming from the Mountain West to the Big Ten. For dudes that have been in the Big Ten longer than he has, for guys that have, maybe more obvious physical advantages, as Anthony Calandria learns the ropes in the Big Ten, as he transitions to being a Big Ten starting quarterback, as much as it is his job to draw the best out of, the 10 other guys on offense, the starting defense, special teams that we'll talk about too, it's on those guys to help support him because he can't be brought in, again, the whole savior thing. You can't do Adrian Martinez 2.0 where, hang around and hope that the quarterback makes a play at the end. He's only going to have the juice, the energy, the ability to make a play at the end if the other dudes step up the previous 55 minutes.
Yeah, you want to be really good, and you got to be strategic when he gets off schedule, right? It has to be part of your game plan. You have to have, really essentially, I call it area routes where you have a guy that's short, medium, and then deep, and and it is systematic, right? When you're running this route and he's rolling towards you, and you ran the previous route, whether you go deep or not, and all that type of stuff. But you're 100% right. I mean, the difference between Calandria and Dylan was a freshman. And I'll say the same thing about Trey Taylor as well, next year or whenever, he gets on the field, is that he's a young player. So everybody around him has to elevate their play to make sure you can accentuate what he can do really well as a freshman in Dylan's case.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case with Calandria. He's played at Virginia, right? He's transferred to UNLV. He's leveled up there, highly compensated in the Mountain West Player of the Year. And he's a veteran. So now you're right. He has to elevate everybody else's play, but it's not necessarily by the play that you're going to hear. If we do post game shows that they call in and they talk about the play that he made on 3rd and 8 and he ran around and, threw it to somebody and they got a 30. That's not it. The ability, how he's going to elevate everybody else is put everybody else in position with obviously the being able to check in and out of plays. if he's allowed to do so, which I'm assuming he will be. But then also put the ball in position, especially for like somebody like Ja'Cory Barney or Lindenmeyer, where you have the connection to where his catch radius is, or it's Gilmer, or it's Quinn Clark, or it's Hunter. So they can show you what they can do. Meaning, if Hunter runs, say he runs like a comeback out, right? And say he's playing against a corner that he's been able to run off, and so he's gonna naturally have some space. You have to place the ball to where he can catch it and make somebody miss, not catch it and get hit in his back, and he has to go down, and then everybody's saying, well, we can't get any separation or any run after the catch. Or for Barney, he has to do a better. Barney has to be better getting space, create space, right? We've talked about that.
Yep.
So, but you got to get the ball to him so he can actually break tackles. Right? Do you got to lead him? If he's going against a linebacker, do you get the ball so he can just go right down? Or if he's going against a linebacker, I call it an option route, or we used to call a fin or a NIF route that's working off the leverage. It actually came from the Colts. So if he's working off leverage on me and he gets it outside, well, you got to place that ball in between the inside defender and the, like, say, slot defender in the area so he can catch it and get upfield. That's how he elevates everybody else.
Well, and that's part of
those little things.
Yeah, that's part of the responsibility of a quarterback is to learn your receivers. They got to learn your ball that you're throwing, but it's also on you to put the ball where they can do something with it. It's the same thing with the point guard in basketball, right?
Right.
The definition of the role is pass the ball, get it to the next player. That's what every point guard does. But the best ones, point guards, quarterbacks, etc., don't just get the ball to their player. They get the ball in the catch radius, right? They lead him just enough to run and pass the defender. They hit it in the shooting pocket, so it's an easier catch and shoot, right? It's not just getting the ball there. It's how, it's when, it's where, it's why. And I put a lot of that more on the quarterback than I do on the receiver.
For sure. I mean, the receivers are going against great athletes, and they're facing man or zone or combination coverages, and you should have that connection with them. And that's the communication. So I always talk about defense, snap communication, communication during the play, post snap communication. That's the same thing with offense. All that time you spent in the off season, all the Instagram pictures, all that stuff, and forget the Instagram pictures, all that stuff, the time you spent together, they went somewhere and they worked together. Those are those conversations not only happen when you're actually working out together, those conversations should be on I think a daily basis, but on a very, very frequent basis. Because I guess we can get into the details of it. And this is what, as a defensive player, how I used to evaluate offensive players and try to be better in pass coverage. How Marvin Harrison ran the Colt route against me being 6'2" is different than against I play with a guy named Jason Lamar or somebody like that. That's a little bit shorter because you can actually put the ball a little bit closer to against a like-sized guy, right? Or how you run a route, how a receiver runs a route against a corner that's over 6 foot. Like say he's 6'1", 6'2", right? Versus playing against Pons of Indiana last year, who's 5'9", 5'10", really good feet, active, and has a ton of ball skills. So it's not the same route every single week. So the communication can't be the same. It's the same play, the same concept, but it's different. And so that's no different when you're in practice right now. So let's say Gilmer and Hunter, they're going up against Marshall. Savvy veteran, right? Seen it all. They know each other. A little bit different. Okay, well, here comes Odom, freshman from Florida, trying to figure it out. Or Evans, right? Making a step up from FIU, a little bit longer corner. Jeremiah Charles, right? He's gotten bigger. You could try to be physical. You have to do that. And so that's where a quarterback and a receiver, their connections is really, really good. And that's where they're able to really elevate and go and do some great things. And that's the little things that they're hopefully working on day in and day out. But yeah, Calandra and what he is able to do within that offense also helps the defense. The ability to extend drives makes your defense that much better, takes the pressure off of them. You know what I mean? And that's what they're going to need as we'll talk about, They talked about Coach Orich yesterday. They talked about Owen Chambliss, is essentially an extension of Coach Orich. And then eventually, hopefully, they talk about McDougal. It's a new defense, new coaching staff. They have to, get some cohesiveness. So do the players. So as the offensive unit, you should be thinking, how can we be the best offensive unit? And then that's thinking individually. But we got to operate collectively with the rest of the other two units, which is defense and special teams, because we should be able to lead this team while we're on it. Yes, we want to score fast, but we want to score steady.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, that also has the mentality that will travel. That means if you play, you get in a shootout, you can crank it up then. We've seen it kind of last year with Maryland where we're a little bit leaky. We got to get it going. We're down by a couple scores. We got to win. Or if you get in a what I call a white knuckle game in late October, November, and you got to line up and look in Iowa over there in Iowa City. It stinks over there and it's cold at 11 o'clock in the morning, the day after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the type of game you got to be able to play. You got to be able to do different things, and it starts with the quarterback, but also starts with the mindset.
I think in terms of the mindset, the situational football aspect comes to mind for me.
Yep.
And so some of that's coaching, right, in terms of what's being called and the coach's approach. But I'm not just talking middle 8, middle 12. I'm not just talking end of quarter, end of half, end of game, 4-minute, all that stuff. When I say situational football, maybe I should say situational response football. Other team just scored. Can you go down and answer? Other team just went 3 and out. Can you extend a lead? Or, defense got to stop. Can you cut into your 2-score deficit this drive when it's important? Adversity management for an offense as well. And maybe some of it's anecdotal, some of it's overblown, but it still feels like Nebraska hasn't always answered the bell. And whether or not Nebraska actually, scores after a score to match it, opponent score into a 3 and out for Nebraska's offense never feels good. Can you at least put a drive together, move the football?
Yeah, we talked about that all the time, right? Can you get a couple? Like when you're on the road, sometimes the fans always like, oh, we got to. There's nothing against the fans, nothing at all, nothing against any fans. We appreciate your guys' thoughts, but it's always funny because whether I'm at Hy-Vee or something, everybody's like, man, we got to score first drive. Listen, when you're on the road and you're in a dog fight, like when you get ready for a dog, you know that with now granted, I'd like Nebraska to score every single drive this year, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the best drives are you pick up first downs. Because it does plant that doubt in the defense, in the defensive coordinator's mind that you can move the ball. It also gives me confidence as a defender that as we get close to the 50, now the advantage works for us.
Mm-me
It's not, you get what I mean? So it's all the cause and effect. And so, that's, you're 100% right. It's the situation of football. Me and you came up with it last during me, you and Nick during post game. What's your bounce back percentage?
Sure.
You got to have first of all, Coach Tony Samuel that coached me when I was here at Nebraska, and then also Reggie Herring had it. Wade Phillips called it something different. He called it your cowboy percentage, which is like,
can you get back on the horse?
Yeah. So that was what Wade. So it's all the same. They used to like calculate how you bounce back if you had a negative play, or what is a negative play based on the standard that you play at.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you need on as a team, as an offense, defense, and special teams unit,
Mm-hmm.
but as a team.
Yeah.
That's how you how you deal with adversity, and how you deal with like essentially competition, somebody, playing well, is just as important. It's more important than going out there and blowing through Ohio, Bowling Green and them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
Because you're going to play against teams that you might, might have a great game plan. How do you bounce back? How do you recover? You've seen national champions. We talk about Indiana. How many times they lost momentum, got it back, got to play, then they got it. They had to deal with Carson Beck driving it. And then they had to deal with adversity one more time that Miami could handle.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win. That's how you see the difference. That's how you see if a team's mature. Now, granted, the wins and losses are the most important. I'd like to have a emotional, immature, low bounce back percentage team, and they be 12-0, right? But realistically, you won't be that team.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, ultimately, winning is the most important. But all those things go into this game of football, and that's why it's so great.
Yeah, and I think of specific instances throughout the course of the last decade of Nebraska football. You can go back to the Tommy Armstrong game at Illinois, right? Just got to make one more play at the end of the game. But you throw the incomplete pass, Illinois goes down and scores to win the game. Or Nebraska doesn't get a chance. I forget how it happened, but you lose on the road. The Illinois game here a couple of years ago, Lindenmeyer's open. You just got to hit the pass, right? That's a game ceiling, all but game
open,
ceiling.
And the guy underneath is open, too.
Is open.
Who was your boy that got drafted by Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah, Borkature. Yeah.
Borkature, both of them were open.
Just hit one of them. Or even, I know this one comes up a lot, the Logan Smothers, Scott Frost, Iowa game with the blocked punt.
Yep.
Okay, they got one. I just go back to the NBA or college basketball, Jay, where even the best shot blockers get dunked on. Okay, is that going to stop you from challenging the next shot at the rim? No, you get got. So go get one.
Yeah, I mean, if you go in the tank of getting your ankles broken, football, or like getting juked out of your jock or getting ran over, and you don't, and you just go into a shell after that, well, then you was already in the shell anyways.
Yeah,
because everybody gets got. I mean, there's not a player I've seen. Was it Jason Tatum dunked on LeBron? But now LeBron got him back.
Yep.
I've seen Jordan get dunked on. I've seen Jordan get blocked. I've seen Jordan get the ball stolen from him. Larry Bird's gotten dunked on. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's got everybody. Shaq, everybody. In some form or fashion, they got.
Yeah.
I mean, what Akeem Olajuwon did to Shaq could have sent him
tailspin.
But he got better at it. He got better. And then it changed his mindset. Most dominant center probably arguably of all time. So it can happen, man. And then Clanders are going to be a big part of it. The team's going to be a big part of it. They got a big challenge among themselves. I know 5-0 is what people are pushing for, which it should be the standard. But you also understand, like, 5-0 is what you should do. So it's not that big a deal. The season starts. Well, for me, when it gets fun, is week 6 on. This is where you see what you're made of. These guys don't. I mean, the opportunity to play like these type of games. Oh man, there ain't nothing like it, man. There's nothing like when we were running through people like in '95 and '97, but we were playing against good competition. That there's nothing like getting ready for a big game. Nothing. There is nothing in the world like getting ready for a big game. Especially when you got all the chips in there. I'm putting everything in the middle of the table. You're putting everything in the middle, everything that you got in the middle of the table. I got my crew. You got your crew. Winner take all. I don't never, ever think about, man, breaking down Pacific. I'm thinking like, how can I get some stats so before I get on the sideline? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I need some stats because I know they're gonna be pulling brothers. I didn't busted my head. Coach Osborne had 500 plays all week, and I get to play 10.
10?
Man, I never forget. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And it wasn't 10 straight, so you could get in the rhythm.
Oh, of course not.
2 turnover on the first play of a series. 1 turnover. Then like, oh yeah, well, starters, you get the first series of the second half.
Great, thanks.
3 and out.
Cool. Where's my hot dog?
Yeah. So it's I mean, these are the games that you need to get ready for.
Big thanks to Heartland and Nebraska Windows for sponsoring Hour 1 of Old School. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping the prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. You can give them a call today for more info at 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Got some text to get to on our starter Heyman Jewelers text line. One of them relates a little bit to special teams. We'll talk about that, answer your questions next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, you know Specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Play ball! Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
When your business is ready for its next move, I'm here to help make it happen. I'm Corey Vandeweghe, Commercial Loan Officer at Midwest Bank on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Lincoln is full of bold ideas and hardworking business owners, and I'm proud to support the people driving that progress. Whether you're launching something new or investing in growth, I'll work with you to find lending solutions that move your business forward. Swing in anytime. I'd love to hear what you're building. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers, and someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and saved thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
A membership with John Henry's will fast track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
And electrical.
The Friends of Greenleaf Tea here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Greenleaf Tea here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
The Friends with Vivid Sign Company here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Vivid Sign Company here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Norman here, Jay Foreman there. Appreciate Heartland of Nebraska Windows for their sponsorship of the show. Jay, we did want to talk some Nebraska football special teams here in this segment. We can do some of that with this comment here from 5704, a guy who played a relatively large role in special teams last year for Nebraska. Ja'Cory Barney Jr., 5704, wants to know, how come we don't talk about Barney much, and do you think he can have a breakout season?
We didn't talk about Barney that much on special teams is because Williams had a breakout season last year. And he really took over, especially, he had 2 touchdowns, kickoff returns for touchdowns and 1 huge return. Right?
Did he have 2 for touchdowns or just the 1 touchdown and then the long one that could have been against Maryland?
I know, well, he had the long one against Maryland.
Yeah, the Northwestern one, right?
Was that a touchdown? I thought he had 2 touchdown returns or kickoff returns for touchdowns.
I am verifying. Just the one.
Just the one.
Yep, 12 for 395 and 1 touchdown last
year. But he had multiple long ones, right? And so that's where you're not talking about Barney, but it could be a really big year of him, and especially in punt returns. But the one thing about special teams, I guess I'll piggyback on this, is the special teams where, I know like Eckler came in and, he's jumping around and, he likes to get in front of the mic and talk to Nick on the plane and all that type of stuff, right?
People forget.
So beyond all that, he's created a niche in himself. He's probably he's one of the better special teams coaches in the nation. He's detailed enough. So when you look at the details were there, but the most important thing that people kind of glossed over last year, they glossed over it last year because they're too busy glazing Mike Eckler. Okay. You fans glaze in general too much. You should be starting to glaze old school with Jay and Austin.
Amen.
Yeah, show us a little glazy. Instead of the glizzy, give us some glazy. But honestly, they had good senior leadership that welcomed special teams roles. Michael Booker, the third. Javen Wright was on there. Buford. Those guys are one of the big reasons that made it go. The coverage units, the blocking, those guys that obviously in a kickoff return, you got to block guys, and you got to be excited about special teams. You got to want it, with the branches and all those guys. Those are the guys that really made it go. Not taking anything away from Eckler because they embraced their role, and so they could go on the road and be a part of the travel roster. But they were a huge part of 2 or 3 victories last year.
Yeah.
So the most important thing for special teams right now, besides like Archie and all those guys doing their thing, kicking the ball and snapping, holding, kicking, is finding those replacements. I'd argue with you, Austin, or anybody, finding replacements for core special teams guys for this team is as or more important than replacing Dylan and all that, or some player, because we've seen the dark days of special teams around here, right? Where you couldn't get out of your own way, right? We've seen it where you're playing decently special teams. You try to do a directional punt, you get blocked by Iowa. We lose a big game, which would have changed a lot of trajectory of a lot of people's career. Different thoughts around Scott Frost initially there, right? Different path for Logan Smothers.
Yeah.
Maybe more appealing for Adrian to come back. Different path maybe for Eric Shenander. Different path for the program as that point based off of that one kick.
Punt.
one punt, one play. And so that's why it's so important to have guys that are going to fill those roles and welcome those roles, because the ability to take your special teams on the road. And the mindset has to be this. Say you go to Michigan State, right? And let's just say, Fitzgerald, he's a defensive guy. You got LeVar Woods, who's a special teams coach, good recruiter. They got our returner, right? And so let's just say Fitzgerald, you see, their defense is dominating in their first three games. So, all right, offense, you know what, you might be initially in for a tough day, and they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so defensively, we got to step up. But let's just say you're kind of back and forth. Michigan State's driving the ball, you get them off. Well, then the tide turns on a punt return. The tide turns the first play of the game, where they think that they're kicking it out and you're just kind of getting that first initial jog down, right? Well, then the wind gusts, we get it, and we return it to the 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's why special teams is so important. That's why you need guys to step up and fill those roles, because those roles, special teams, is how you can evaluate a team and know exactly who they are. You want to know, and here's why. You can get a good glimpse into team speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're running down full speed. That's number
something
one.
Nebraska has been very big on for 4 years.
You can see how disciplined they are, right? Do they do little things? Everybody's getting on their blocks, whether they return it or not. There's not any kind of leaky guys going down there, and 4 guys are in your returner's face.
Are they in their lanes?
In their lanes, if you're covering the
Coverage.
kick. But if you're on kickoff return, how many guys are locking up, even though it's automatically down? Then you can see how physical they are. Because if you're physical in practice, right, you're going to be physical in special teams. So you can see it's a snapshot into your team.
Mm-hmm.
So embrace it. Who's going to embrace it? Who's going to step up? Is it going to be, a Dylan Rogers, a Dawson Merritt, even though you might play some? Will it be the plethora of, say, like Rex Guthrie, Caleb Benning, and say Khan or whoever that, maybe those guys are kind of all like in the mix to start at the opposite of McDougal or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys going to step up? That's going to be a big tell-off for the season.
I like the name Dylan Rogers. That's a fun one as a junior. Just going through the roster by year of eligibility here. Other senior candidates, Gage Stenger is a senior as long as he's healthy. He's been a guy whose name's gotten thrown around a little bit in that conversation. Roman Mangini, a little bit too, wide receiver. A smaller guy, but can play a role potentially. Vince Genatone, via the many position switches, I think, can be in that conversation. But then you name some guys that are actually on the field, right? And you go back to last year, the guys that you mentioned were consistent players for Nebraska, mostly starters there, which the buy-in. And I'm really curious to see, Jay, which of those players step up and how much of that was a Mike Eckler mindset impact, right? Because I think on the one hand, it would have been really nice for this new crew of Coach Maher and Coach Humphreys to have that veteran established core going up. Now, if that would have been the case and it wouldn't have worked, look at the veterans went rogue. They took off. They thought they knew what they were doing. They didn't listen to first-time head coaches. They're headstrong. The flip side of that is maybe it's good for younger coordinators, and Maher and Humphreys to have a younger group. Hey, this is what we expect. The standard hasn't changed just because Coach Eckler left, and to be able to mold a little bit younger, more inexperienced group into what they want it to be. It's all in the results, right? Because we can make whatever out of it that we want based on what the results are. And so I'm going to be fascinated to see, to your point, who are those leaders and how much control of that room comes from those players helping the coaches settle in, or those coaches helping the players settle in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be both. I mean, look, you got to give Coach Rule credit. He's put an emphasis on special teams and improving special teams, obviously, after some of the stuff that happened early in his tenure. And so it was a point of emphasis. That's why you get Mike Eckler, and that's why you had some uptick. But it was led by some guys that really had to have a hard conversation with themselves. I'm probably not going to play much in base and conventional defense or offense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm late in my career. My back's against the wall. Here comes a new coach that, set a standard for it. But the message from Eckler doesn't echo if Rule doesn't back him up. That's coaching one-on-one, right? So it's the same thing. I know he's going to back Brett up. But now it's on the players to step up. I'm just looking at guys like Amari Sanders, right? You're a corner, right? You're 6'1", so you got to be really good as a vice. I call it vice, like when you're out there, when you're clamping down on a gunner. You look at Justin Rhett. Sure, you're in the mix to start at safety, but you got to be hellified on special teams, because if you really want to eventually start at safety or solidify yourself as a starter on safety, then you need to be excellent on special teams as well.
Like you said, Buford.
Yeah,
Singleton had his moments.
Right. Sierra Wright played. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Javen Wright played, all these guys. And so when you just keep going down this roster, all of them. And so if I'm a guy like Willis McGahee,
Larry Tarver,
I'm thinking I'm just looking right here, like a Rex Guthrie,
Cortez Mills.
Yeah, maybe because he's limited, but I'm thinking like a Connor Booth, guys that are kind of like a little bit down there, right? The best way to move up the depth chart, the true depth chart, that's the one that gets on the plane.
The coach's trust depth chart.
That's the one that you're getting on. We ain't bringing 105 guys to East Lansing.
Nope.
I am destroying Vince Genatone, especially tailor-made for especially. I am destroying people on special teams. I'm at an intensity level on special teams that, quite frankly, I'd want them to probably kick me out of practice. Period. I would force everybody to raise it to my level. Now I'm doing it right. I'm not being cheap and all that other stuff. But what I'm doing is I am making myself known on who and what I am when it comes to the special teams. Because when that roster is cut down, and how many away games they got?
We can go through this. So it'll be at Michigan State. You have the 3 in November and Oregon.
So
I
5.
believe. Should be 5.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the real deal. That's the separator. Sure, if you got some injuries and you gotta, it's like the NFL where you got linemen down and you gotta, bring up your emergency quarterback and all that. But no, I'm trying, not trying. What I am gonna do, is I'm gonna make myself known, because that's gonna be. You're talking about getting like foundation, being a foundation piece on a team. You go from there, then you continue to get better at your craft at your individual position, because they watch all the same tape, and then suddenly you look a lot more appealing at defensive back, linebacker than you did if you were just a guy that's the last in line on special teams, the guy that doesn't answer a question in special teams, a guy that is perceived or the reality is that you're not investing on special teams.
And the examples I think we go to a lot on this show that are worth bringing up again in these discussions, Mekhi Bayer and John Bullock.
Both. Look, John Bullock is look, if you want to find an example of everything that you could build your program on, it'd be him.
Mm-hmm.
Dude came in, and I remember he was number 35, a man without a position, straight up. He was like a safety. He could be a nickel, because in the JoJo Doman, or kind of ran that nickel defense. Then he wasn't like big enough or strong enough. You had to play linebacker. Didn't know how to play the position. Tough as nails. Mm-hmm. Came in and saw an opportunity. Hit the weight room with Corey. Linebacker. Played. Came back. And was on the cusp of making the Pro Bowl as an NFL pro, or Pro Bowl as a special teams player. Mm-hmm. Not only did he go from a free agent, right, undrafted free agent, to making the roster, to be a starter, which there is a difference. Active and inactive in the NFL is no different than the travel roster. Mm-hmm. I've been there. When you're inactive for a certain amount of games, you got to work while you wait. And then when you get that one opportunity, you got to make it a lifetime long opportunity, from there. And so there's plenty of examples. How do you think John Bullock, do you think, this is what I would like to ask these guys. Do you think John Bullock just was a starter? They didn't want to play him. No. And it's not like they didn't like him, but they had other guys they were invested in.
He didn't look the part. Just a little walk on.
So you think that Coach Rule took the job? Was like, oh, that guy is going to be arguably my best defense and most consistent player on defense, and he ain't a linebacker, and he's not even a linebacker. Yeah, that's why I'm saying Tony White. That's why here's what you got. Mm-hmm. Mekhi Bayer. Here's what you got. The Mekhi Bayer is the same thing.
Yeah.
He changed his body, What did he do the first game against Minnesota? What did he do against Colorado? Next thing you know, he's out there starting. And he's playing a whole different position. Remember against Wisconsin when they went up there, he was playing like outside linebacker.
Yeah. Boom, right to the middle.
And guess what? That was a road game. What was Colorado? Road game. The answers are there.
The evidence makes your point for you.
The answer is there. It's just hard to do. You want to know why it's hard? That ego. That ego. Yeah, man. I was killing folks in high school. And
cool.
I was cold-blooded. Trust me. I was cold-blooded at running back. Hey, I seen old number 1 over there. I peeked around there. Yeah, I thought this defense stuff.
Let me go decide to tackle him.
Yeah. And I had second guessed myself after that when he came through the hole, looking angry as all get out. I was like, I don't know what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, might want to hit that highway to flyway back to the crib, but it all worked out.
But the rest is history.
Yep.
As is this segment. Got one more segment in hour 1. Come back with us on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A membership with John Henry's will fast-track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating
and electrical.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
Love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, Big Red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market.
The Friends with Vivid Sign Company here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Vivid Sign Company here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers, and someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and saved thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Quick, short segment to wrap up hour one of Old School. Jay, we are going to lean into some New Orleans flavor for the next half an hour or so. You see Tulane's new alternate uniforms?
No.
The Mardi Gras ones.
Man, I'm still dumbfounded by the Buffalo Bills.
Those are not great.
I'm looking at these right now. Well, first of all, they had the Mardi Gras ones with the one dude looked like he's behind bars. That's probably not what you want.
Not to go for. Now, that's relatively common occurrence on Mardi Gras, but
you know what? They kind of growing on me.
They're a little busy.
But
it's
busy.
Very Mardi Gras.
It is very Mardi Gras. I kind of, you know what? I like it. I like the uniforms. I do not like the shoes. The aqua toes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to change that to the regular green.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
that's just the player they had.
Yeah, maybe the player. Yeah.
But you'd think you'd just do it from head to toe.
Yeah, I like it though. I've seen worse.
Boy, no kidding.
We've seen worse.
Mm.
Yeah. So I mean,
enough said.
I like it. It is busy, but if you're doing Mardi Gras, it is busy. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Elsewhere in New Orleans, Drew Brees going into the Saints Ring of Honor October 11th against the Vikings. You're putting him in your Ring of Honor against the franchise that handed him maybe the most devastating postseason loss of his career.
Yeah, but then they had the one before where they forced Brett Favre into an interception when the Vikings probably were the better team at New Orleans. But then obviously the Music City, or not the Minneapolis Miracle, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of history between those two franchises.
It is.
We will get to one more Louisiana topic. This is a full segment. Jaden Daniels upset that LSU handed out his number 5. Why is he upset?
I feel his pain.
Why did he send a cease and desist letter
I like
to
it,
LSU?
That's what I'm saying.
We'll get into that next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
Love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, big red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, Call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
Husker fans know a strong game plan makes all the difference, no matter where they cheer from. The dedication fans bring every season is the same dedication that builds long-term financial success. That's why Emeritus connects fans across the country with financial professionals who can help them plan, prepare, and move toward their goals. As a proud partner of Husker Athletics, Emeritus supports fans in every corner of the country because great fans deserve a great future. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/HuskerWealth for more information.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
The Friends with Camplin Bird Legal Group here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Camplin Bird Legal Group here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score. Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, welcome back into Old School Hour 2 of the show. Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Orman with you 9 to noon, Monday through Friday, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We're with you longer than Jaden Daniels was with LSU football, but we're not asking for our show to be retired. Jay, what in the world? A cease and desist letter sent to LSU's new athletic director from Jaden Daniels' attorney. The statement is this: the Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jaden's number to another player. Jaden and his family had every reason to believe that his number would remain a meaningful part of his LSU legacy and would be honored and protected in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the university.
Yeah, you won the Heisman, my brother, and you were must-see TV, but you ain't win no big games. And what you might have thought the conversation went like, we either changed our mind or it was not what it was said.
Well, that was with the previous coach. He got mine too.
Yeah, that's true. And Lane don't care. And LSU, to be honest with you, to be frank, they don't care either. They care about Jaden Daniels when he does well, and they can sell him when he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Which further lets you know they will never love you like you loved them back. But then also for Jaden Daniels, you weren't at LSU forever. You were at Arizona State. Yeah, Arizona State before. And if they made an agreement with you, you probably should have got it in writing. But I can also hope that he did not donate any money with the perception or conversation that this would happen. I would be trying to get my money back. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
And, you know, the number retire thing and all that. If you're at like where he's at, or won a Heisman, you ain't no number. No, nobody's gonna really represent it like that. And do you really care? I mean, why would you care? You in the league,
right? That part.
Yeah.
Don't you have bigger things to worry about?
Like, I don't go back and look at my high school and worry about who's wearing number 6. They got
as long as they're scoring 6. Now, if they're not scoring 6, it's taken away. But
and some people really take it serious. I understand. I understand both points. I just probably venture to say LSU reneged on their commitment. Go figure. You just got Lane and all that, and they just want to do whatever they want to do. And is this kid that's going to wear it? Is he good?
The player that is now wearing number 5, sophomore cornerback DJ Pickett. He was wearing 3 last year during his first season with the Tigers when he was named a freshman All-American, led LSU with 3 interceptions, 37 tackles, and a sack, and 500 snaps.
So he's pretty good.
Pretty good player.
And so they're probably doing it to, maybe they got somebody they promised 3-2. Kids change numbers like almost month-to-month basis. And so, and also if he's a defensive back, if he was another quarterback, I really would see what Jaden Daniels is upset about. Right? Mm-hmm. He's a corner.
Yeah.
Why do you care?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, I know at Penn State they have 11 and all that other stuff. Some dude was like a quarterback in number 11. I mean, yeah, sure, 11 should always be their best linebacker, and 55 at USC and all that.
Mm-hmm. But that's like handed down.
That's handed down.
LSU's number 7, the best DB.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sure he'll get next year at this rate.
Leonard Fournette wore number 7.
True.
I didn't see anybody else mad. I didn't see Patrick Peterson mad about that.
Nope.
Now, granted, he has to play to a standard, and it sounds like this guy, DJ Pickett, is at least formidable player, and so I get it. I think there's probably Mama Bear behind it, trying to market off of it, and obviously, trying to protect his brand. But ultimately, your best brand, Jaden Daniels, is getting over that sophomore slump, my brother, and staying healthy.
Keep that elbow flexed, but not too far.
Because once you start balling in the league, you don't have to worry about that. They'll get in line. This would have never happened after his rookie year or during his rookie year.
You know who it hasn't happened to? Joe Burrow. LSU has not used Burrow's number 9 since he left campus. And that's a part of Daniel's argument. Hey, we both won the Heisman. Why is his number out of circulation and not mine? Well, Jaden Daniels, you had the Lamar Jackson Heisman without the Lamar Jackson hype. And Joe Burrow can
what's the Lamar Jackson? You didn't win the championship?
Didn't win the championship.
So
dual
you
threat
think that's
quarterback.
The difference in Louisiana?
Jay, I wasn't going to go there. I was going to let you go there. Seems like more your lane. Of course I thought about it.
Oh, my God. You know exactly why, man. Have you heard that dude, the governor, talk? You know exactly why he was happening. You got to know exactly where you're at, Jack. But
can we just say it's the championship instead? And the Burrow had better stats overall.
It's Thursday. We're going to have the French peace treaty.
Treaty of Versailles.
They got some French down there, right?
They've
French
been
Quarter.
plenty of them.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just man, Jay Daniels, you should have won a couple more games.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he lose to that year?
2023 LSU football. They end up 10-3, 12th in the AP poll. They wait for Sports Reference to load for them. Okay, so LSU started the year off with a 45-24 loss to Florida State, beat Grambling, Mississippi State, Arkansas, lost a shootout to Ole Miss, beat Missouri, Auburn, Army, lost by 2 touchdowns to Alabama, then beat Florida, Georgia State, Texas A&M to end the regular season, and Wisconsin in the bowl game.
Oh, so they had a better season than maybe if you beat Bama.
You only lost to ranked teams, number 8 Florida State, number 20 Ole Miss, and number 8 Alabama. So, good year.
Maybe if he beat Bama, you have nobody wear a 5.
That game, the final score was 2 possessions, 42-28. Game flow, it was tied 21-all at halftime. Coming out of the break, LSU took a 28-21 lead, then gave up 21 unanswered points to end it. That Alabama team, the Jalen Milroe team, he did not pass for a touchdown in that game. Alabama running the football must have been pretty crazy. Milroe ran 20 times, 155 yards, 4 tutties. Which is also not Jane Daniels' fault. But
I understand his point, though. But LSU is going to LSU.
Yeah. We got this from YouTube. We'll switch gears here. Husker Homer wants to know, a serious question. Would you start Anthony Calandria over Tommy Armstrong, Taylor Martinez, or Adrian Martinez? Where does he fall in that pecking order for you, Jay?
It's hard to say. I haven't seen him play yet.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It'd be hard for him to start over Tommy. I think he's a better passer than Taylor, but Taylor is faster, and Calandria is fast. Calandria is a better runner. He can make you miss. Taylor was just straight line.
Yeah. One cut, more like half cut.
Adrian is the X factor. Adrian with Dana and coachable and a quarterback coach, he's been dangerous. And a mindset where you have a mindset, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where you going to play in that bowl game?
Mm-hmm.
When you're going to make everybody play in that bowl game?
Mm-hmm.
That Adrian I'll take. The Adrian that's right now, after the Kansas State, that's the one. But I'll probably start him over everybody. Probably not Tommy.
He's closest to Tommy Armstrong in size.
Calandria?
Yeah.
Tommy's bigger, though.
Yeah, I'm saying closest. Yeah, Calandria is the smallest of that bunch. He's probably the most, how shall I say this, creative runner.
He's elusive.
Elusive, yep. Probably the most play extending ability in terms of his ability to reverse field a couple times or make multiple moves in and out of the pocket. Adrian would kind of one turn and go. Maybe make a cut at the line of scrimmage to dive forward.
Him and Adrian about the same. But yeah, Calandria is the best in provision-wise out of all those guys.
For sure.
And still being able to deliver the ball and kind of like backyard football. Yeah.
How big is Calandria's arm from what you've heard, seen, been told? Because, I mean, Tommy probably had the biggest arm of that group.
I've seen some dude on the internet, Jim from Minnesota.
Do you claim him?
Huh?
Do you claim him?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
He's kind of nah.
We'll leave it at that. All right. Some dude
he
from
posted a picture of Calandria dropping a ball in the bucket down there on the sideline. Seemed good enough for me. I don't think he has no Josh Allen arm, but I think he's got a more than capable. I mean, I don't think they brought him. I mean, first of all, he's going to have to be able to stretch the defense. In the Big Ten, not against the 3, guaranteed wins. I'm talking about when you're playing against good competition, he's going to have to be able to push the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is I don't think they would have recruited him if he couldn't.
You got to have a requisite level of arm strength and accuracy down the field.
Yeah, and I think he does it. He does also does it well, on the run too.
Mm-hmm.
So he's extremely athletic. He's going to cause a couple teams some problems. He's just got to be prepared for a team like Iowa that's going to just try to just vice you in there.
You mentioned improvisation being a skill that Anthony Calandria has. It's funny because obviously improv is off the cuff. You don't know what's going to happen, but you still have tendencies in it. Every quarterback, even when they're outside of the pocket, they know where they want to go with the ball, right? Aaron Rodgers had that for a long time with Jordy Nelson, with Devontae Adams, guys like that, where they practiced it. And opposing defensive coordinators, even though, it's called improvisation, it's called extending the play, you still have your tendencies. Yeah. And I wonder what that's going to look like for Anthony Calandria and his receivers coming up in the Big Ten, because I'm sure these Big Ten defensive coordinators with all that film will have a beat on what he likes to do. Is he able to still get to what he's most comfortable with, or does he have to find something new? And I'm sure it's going to be both.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're able to improvise like that, and he's can be pretty smart with it. You're not just throwing it like aimlessly. And really, to be honest with you, Aaron Rodgers got into the point he just chucked it up there all the time, and in some big moments, especially against the Giants. Mm-hmm. The Giants came and upset him. What's the other? San Francisco?
Yeah,
upset him. It kind of worked against him, and so I think. The defensive coordinators, once they get, 3 or 4 games film on you, they get your tendencies. But ultimately, if you have a plan for it, you're not living and dying based on it, and you're using that, I call it a la carte, as needed. And then when you can go back to it as needed or wanted, that's the most effective improvisation that you can have from the quarterback position, which also then really levels up his ability to get out in space and be exciting. Not all the time, which at UNLV he had to do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You necessarily shouldn't and don't have to do that all the time here at Nebraska. You got viable receivers. You got hopefully a offensive game plan that's going to get everybody involved, going to play to your strengths. Guys can separate. You're going to have to play pitch and catch. And that's going to be the thing that's going to be the most important. The more games you can play pitch and catch, like Dylan, and obviously pushing the ball down some and being more accurate on deep balls, being more accurate on the back shoulder fade when you're in the red zone. All those is going to amplify the times that he runs because teams are not going to be ready for it. But when you do it and you live and die on it, and you saw sometimes where with Adrian, he early in the season really get off, and then late in the season people were clamping him in, that's when you run into a problem. That's when the quarterback takes more hits.
We get this from Jackson Peterson on YouTube. What do you clowns know? What makes you legit? Care to drop your resume for Jackson, Jay?
What do you mean? What do we know about what?
What do we know about football?
I'm not even going to answer that question. Jackson, why would I even answer that question? Why would you even say that? I'm not even going to give you credit by even explaining that to myself or explaining that to you. I mean, that's just ignorant.
Try again next time, Jackson. Thanks for playing. But actually, no, thanks for playing.
That's somebody under. That's somebody.
It's a burner, right?
Yeah.
You think that's a burner?
Wonder who that is.
I don't know. Do some digging. Get the IP address. You mentioned the a la carte, right? Able to go to it in terms of the improvisation. I think that's got to be the deep ball for Nebraska too. For years, they've had receivers struggle to get off the line, get deep. Nair had some moments of it. Banks less so. Key less so. Stanley Morgan had it in his bag a little bit. Spielman wasn't the biggest guy, but I don't think that Nebraska, to use your words, is going to major in the deep ball. But when you need to dial it up, when you need to take a shot, you got to be able to hit a double move every once in a while to keep the defense honest. We've seen for so many years, teams crowd the box against Nebraska, daring them to beat them deep. And Nebraska's either been unwilling to do it or unable to do it.
Man, you need that Quincy Enunwa.
Sure.
That's what you need. You need that every once in a while. And then, sometimes, you're testing a defense just to keep them honest. But, you need you got to, I like it where you're willing to push the ball deep and it's an emphasis and it's actually a realistic outcome in a positive way for Nebraska. Because you don't want, which I thought at times people really played top down and sat on the short routes. The completion percentage was really high, but the explosiveness wasn't there. And that's where you kind of looked like stuck in the mud at times against Cincinnati and some other teams. And so in order to be, more explosive, you want to be able to, test the, defense vertically. I think that is not exclusive to the outside. I will say this again. if you can somehow expose a team, let's just go numbers from inside the numbers on, in the middle of the field, it will make, explosiveness on the outside or anything else that much easier. So it kind of goes hand in hand. But yeah, I do think they need to be able to test people deep. It's something that Nebraska has kind of probably needed for a while. We've seen it at times, and like I remember when Jeff Sims was here, or maybe Heinrich was the quarterback, kind of ran the old school option pass. We need some stuff that where, you're running, a 7 cut with a deep post, putting a lot of stress on that cover 4 safety and that cover 4 corner, or, being able to really test the I call it the number 3 hook dropper vertically, and then have an option route off of that, or have a route against like cover 2 where they talked about. I've seen video where Randy Moss was talking about, and Tom Brady were talking about when Randy came in, when he would run straight at the safety, and based on the leverage of the safety, that's where they were throwing it. So you get to that point, you're really able to be explosive. Then you're playing with a little bit lighter box against the run, and so now you have, instead of a running back by committee, you're just an opportunity, running back by opportunity, because everybody's able to get clear vision, run lanes, and obviously take advantage of it.
To do a cross-sport comparison, I think of it kind of like Arizona basketball last year. They weren't taking a ton of threes when they were open, but you need to take some just to open up, your paint scoring, right? I think Nebraska, or at least Matt Rule, wants to be the team that runs the ball, right? Control the clock, dominate the fourth quarter and whatnot. But unless you have, a top third, at least, line in the Big Ten, maybe there at running back as well, it's going to be hard for you to do, even with a mobile quarterback. And so, yeah, that keeping him honest aspect. And the other thing you referred to, the big touchdowns, the 50 plus yarders, 40 plus yarders sometimes. You say a lot of those, especially in the NFL, are busts. We're not asking for Nebraska to score 75-yard touchdowns all the time, first play of a drive. But if you can get, a 20-yard completion up the sideline, 20-yard completion up the seam.
You should be able to get a 30-yard completion. Let's just say you're able to complete a 12-yard pass on a really good route, make somebody miss, and you go for 30 yards. You should be able to get a 20-yard completion, like you said, up the hash. And Big Hoss has here, he's like, you can't beat a team deep if they don't respect your running game. Defenses will have to account for the quarterback scrambling, make plays be easier for our receivers to get open. That's 100%, true. Yeah, a conventional run game, or the threat of the run game, whether it's quarterback run game and all that, definitely opens it up for the rest of the offense. But you can also have good enough receivers that are able to beat a cover 2, a 3 match, a cover 4, a cover 6, any type of defense you have, and especially if they come out one-on-one, man to man, you got to win. And so, being able to beat somebody deep man to man versus just running like comebacks and slants and all that is a lot different, because defenses generally will give that up, not just let you run free, but they're not going to, start pulling players because you can't really get into them anyways based on the rules, and they get a 5-yard slant against you.
Yeah. Just the nature of the game.
Yeah.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that what Big Hoss is saying goes a couple ways, Jay. There's two schools of thought, because, if they don't respect your run game and they can stop you for 3 yards per carry with, in Nebraska's alignment, there are 4 down linemen, the 2 linebackers, the nickel can just kind of roam, be responsible for the quarterback. That's a win for the defense. If they're even and they get a win, that's huge. But I think what we've seen some teams do against Nebraska too is load that box, right? They don't respect the pass game, so they load up against the run. Nebraska doesn't have enough confidence to air it out because the guys aren't winning one-on-one, timing's off, whatever it is. And so instead of allowing 3 yards per carry, sometimes teams will say, hey, let's not just stop them for minimal gain. Let's stop them for no gain or negative.
Let's overload. You see some run blitzes and all that type of stuff. And that's where I talked about the accuracy, right? And if you went back and watched, and last year, I'm just guessing, there was times that there was some separation on one-on-one routes in the accuracy or putting the ball in the right place where the receiver could obviously catch it was off. Or there was times that we saw a couple drops as well, and those were in the same scenarios that we're talking about right here. And so you just got to get. And we talked about placing the ball and based on opponent and coverage earlier in the show. It rings true right now how it deals with the run game. The run game will open up a lot of things, but also being able to be efficient in the passing game will open up the run game.
Yeah.
So you have to do both to be able to get to the position that Nebraska wants to get offensively, both stat wise and realistic or reality wise, as far as how you look, on a day-to-day, game-to-game basis.
You raised a great point too about where the blame falls, and it's everywhere. Ultimate team sport and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to just dog the receivers on that. Right?
No,
one
I'm
issue.
just saying it. I
Because
mean, it is. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, like people are saying, Dylan held the ball so long, right? Well, you got to get separated.
Well, if he's holding the ball too long, guess what? He has time. So
He
the
has
offensive
time.
line's not as bad as you thought it was.
Right.
Right.
And then the receivers, maybe you need to get open along, or maybe he needs to get it out of his hand. Maybe it needs to be situational awareness where, it's 3rd and 4, and you got to hit him right on the chest. You have to throw him open versus waiting to throw it when he is open.
Mm-hmm.
All those things. So offensively, and that's defensively as well. You talk about, I know we're up against the clock real quick, like Michigan game and all this other stuff that like the calls were there. Guys got to maybe, set the edge a little bit better to give a clear, alley feel for whatever, or for the filler in the alley to have a better chance of making a, 5-yard gain or tackle for a 5-yard gain versus Haynes or whoever, went up for 50. It's not all based on the end result. It's all based on the cause. The cause and effect is happening in every single play, and is also happening or affects how the offense, defense, and special teams plays as a whole, the whole season.
Totally right. That's Jay Foreman breaking it down for us here on Old School. We'll be back with more Nebraska topics. Anything else on your mind for Nebraska football, let us know. 402-464-5685. That's the number. 2 hours Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. You can also drop a comment on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter if you're watching. Also brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. If you don't have anything more on your mind for football, we'll table that till tomorrow. Talk some Nebraska basketball. A former player, could he be a current player? Marcus Lawrence officially filed in the lawsuit in California for another year of eligibility. If you don't have football stuff, we'll get to some Nebraska basketball topics coming up on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Husker fans know a strong game plan makes all the difference, no matter where they cheer from. The dedication fans bring every season is the same dedication that builds long-term financial success. That's why Emeritus connects fans across the country with financial professionals who can help them plan, prepare, and move toward their goals. As a proud partner of Husker Athletics, Emeritus supports fans in every corner of the country because great fans deserve a great future. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Wealth for more information.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
I love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, Big Red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Moms already know. It's the one time all summer where everything comes together. The kids are happy. The food is incredible. And somewhere between the birthing pavilion and the drone show, your whole family is together in a way that's hard to find anymore. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
When the lights go out, every minute matters. Powerline helps LES respond to outages faster by linking your phone number to your service address. Get ready before the next outage at les.com/powerline.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back in. It is Old School on The Ticket. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to the folks at Schwezo Construction for their sponsorship of Old School. At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Schwezo.com. 40-plus years strong in business. Schwezo Construction. On our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, Jay, we have this from a Big Hoss. He says, Jay, Nebraska's red zone defense last year seemed horrific. What would you do to fix Nebraska's red zone defense year over year?
Well, I think, it just comes down to communication and execution, right? And that's easy, but whether you make it simple or, get, in different fronts, I think, I'm just thinking back, Michigan game, Michigan State, Maryland a little bit. Red zone, you got to do a really good job of stopping the run game. Penn State, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have to really worry about deep passes because there's nowhere the receiver to go. So if you can get them in situations when it's going to be a high percentage of pass or pass concepts that you feel good about, that's when your red zone defense becomes really good. But when they're in second and short, third and or second and manageable, third and short, they're able to pick up first downs, then you kind of, pin your back against the wall. So that's what the main thing I would do. But I think really, the mindset and the emphasis is no different from the red zone than the rest of the field. We have to get better at the little things day in and day out. We have to understand the emphasis on the little things are the most important things. That's how you're going to win big games. That's how you're going to be able to withstand some adversity. That's how you're going to be a better red zone defense. The better that you're able to set the edge and, fill and tackle and gang tackle and be able to have more hats to the ball that potentially could force a turnover is going to allow your red zone defense to be better. Now, then the guys are going to have to cover. Well, that's what they get paid to do. It's easier in the red zone to come up with coverages and actually be a little bit aggressive on whatever route or concept you're trying to take away when you do a really good job of not having to overextend yourself to stop the run in the run game. So that's where Nebraska has to get better at. They got to be really, more stout and better against the run in the red zone and in the field, which is going to allow the defense and everybody else to play a lot more aggressive on your passing attack.
Not sure where these numbers come from, but according to teamrankings.com, college football stats, Nebraska was the second worst red zone defense in college football last year, allowing an opponent to score a touchdown or a field goal on 97.4% of all drives that reached the red zone.
Yeah, and
135th out of 136.
You know, and it was the touchdowns that kill you.
Yeah.
Now, if you can start holding people to field goals and your offense is able to match that, you're all constantly, either breaking even if our offense is able to get a field goal, touchdown, we're stacking on 4-point lead, maybe a 3. And I think the biggest thing you want to do is the emphasis on not giving up touchdowns. Why did we give up those touchdowns? Was it coverage? Was it bad situational awareness? Was it personnel? Or did we cause all those things that I just mentioned based on what we didn't do earlier in the series, and that is outside of the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
So if we bust the coverage from the 40, let's say they're at our 45 and they get a 25 or they get a 22-yard catch, they're now at like the 28-yard line or whatever, 22-yard line. So, or 23-yard line. So now you're playing with your back against the wall, and say it was something that you really had your defense, you felt like it was a good coverage or good run defense against their run offense and their passing concept. So now you're playing like catch the whole time. Now you're like, okay, well, what's next?
And as a defender, you've always said you want to be in attack mode.
You want to be calculated aggressiveness, and you got to be in attack mode. You want to set the pace, and so that's how opponents are able to score. It's the cause and effect. They're able to set up plays in the red zone that had success outside of the red zone, and they were able to kind of keep Nebraska on their heels. I always talk about, was it Greg Maddox, the pitcher?
Yep.
He wasn't Randy Johnson as far as his fastball. He wasn't Roger Clemens, certainly. He wasn't anybody like special with his fastball. It was fast enough. But the way that he was able to be, in my opinion, so dominant at a pitcher at a time is that he kept everybody on their toes. He mixed it up and all that. And so that's an analogy in football is that you don't always want to be the opponent going against Greg Maddox, where you're always essentially guessing, and then you swing at it like a 3-2 pitch that's way out of the strike zone, right? And now you got a lot of regret. Now you come up the next time at bat, right? And next time you're in the red zone, you're thinking about what you didn't do there because you didn't have anything to fall back on in order to deal with your, bounce or have a bounce back percentage. So what Nebraska has to do is look for improvement. I think conceptually wise, Rob Orich is going to do better. He's shown, over time that he's been able to come in and light a spark, but the guys that got to execute, I think the game plan is going to be a little bit tighter. I think he knows what he wants to get done. Now the guys have just got to go play. I think they'll make it simple enough, but it's also aggressive and has a lot of, checks and stuff that you can, go off of it. So it won't all look the same. And so guys have just got to dive into the execution part and it'll be just fine.
That's where I land with it as well, Jay, because I don't think Nebraska is getting outwitted, out-schemed, out-concepted in the red zone. Sure, maybe teams call some good plays. Maybe Nebraska struggles to handle pick routes, right, or rub routes, whatever offenses want to call it. Maybe Nebraska's losing some 50-50 balls here and there, But I think the bigger issue for Nebraska is whether they get bullied when they get down there. Is that teams aren't doing anything exotic. It's that other teams' offensive lines just lean on Nebraska when they get down in the red zone. And sure, there's some creativity from quarterbacks and offensive coordinators, but did Penn State do anything fancy in the red zone? Does Iowa ever do anything fancy in the red zone? Did Utah do anything fancy in the red zone? No, not necessarily. And so, yes, having good schemes, fitting your gaps and all that stuff clearly plays a part. But at some point, you have to look the part too. Be big enough. Be man enough to not get bullied inside the 20s. Make a stand. We go back to that play with Riley Van Poppel against Illinois. The one play that really stands out to people so far in his Nebraska career, thrown into the fire, part of that 4-down goal line stand. Nebraska keeps points off the board. That's great if you can do that. Can you do that at the 15-yard line? Can you do that at the 20-yard line as opposed to, giving up, the first down at the 13-yard line, they get another one at the 3-yard line? That's the compounding effect too.
Yeah. You got to do really good at stopping the run in the red zone. And you're 100% right. You like Iowa, Utah, they've been running the same plays since the test of time. They're going to line up and they're going to try to punch you in the face. They're going to see how much how much willingness you have to stay in there, and not only stay in there just because your body's there, stay in it when you're with your mind. And how much do you want to tackle a physical running back over and over and over? How much you want to tackle a quarterback once he gets on the edge as far as Utah is concerned, really puts a lot of stress on your defense. So everybody thinks about Iowa, you run up the middle, inside, outside zone. Well, Utah get on that edge, and he's putting an emphasis or putting a lot of stress on your your edge defender. Am I guessing? Am I going too down on the dive? Well, then here the quarterback gets the soft edge on me. It's more mental than physical. But yes, the simplicity of the red zone has hurt Nebraska more than I would like and more than it should. It's simple down there.
Mm-hmm.
You get beat on a 50-50, but like I've seen guys against Randy Moss, great coverage. He's just Randy Moss.
There's a reason we say
we
you
got
mossed
teach
him.
tape, right? Well, you're talking, oh man, you got to put, you got to punch up and get the ball and all this. You just got guy.
Great. Randy's hands and wrists are stronger than my thighs.
You just got guy. But if we're it's okay. Here's an example. I don't even know if this is what the rule is here. I remember it maybe was Frost. Okay, if we're in cover 4 in the red zone, you're on the 8-yard line. How deep do you think you need to be in the end zone?
Well, if you have 8 yards to the goal line and 10 yards of the end zone, you have no more than 18 yards back that you could possibly play.
Right. So if you're already backpedaling and you're in the end zone and they throw a stop route, and this was when Frost was there, and they throw like a comeback, he catches it at the 5-yard line. Now you're breaking up with 5 yards of space, or maybe even more than that, depending on how far you're in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get somewhat of a solid hit on him. He already ran you over and got into a touchdown. That ain't got nothing to do with the call. Execution. Yeah. Understanding where you're at. Understanding your spatial awareness and obviously your game awareness on what to do, no matter, even if it's cover 4. Those are the little things that'll make this defense that much better because they're, ideally, I think with this staff, and I hope with this staff, because of the continuity of all of them working together, and then obviously with Addison Williams and Dvorak in there, that the cohesiveness and the coaching and the being able, I call it segmentation, Phil Simpson as well, segmentation of, okay, Phil Simpson's kind of coaching the edges, right? And then you got Brown, the D tackles. Then you got Addison Williams corner, and then you got Yelk, the safeties coach.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Orch, that's the former linebacker player that's helping out with the linebackers. He's the coordinator. I think that hopefully is helping for the situational awareness, football acumen, and then obviously allowing them to hopefully to go out there and play a little bit smarter, because one or two of those plays back affects the outcome of the game, and it can affect the outcome of the season.
As we've seen. We'll go to break. We'll wrap up hour 2 of Old School on the other side.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Think, ouch, it's stuck in the past, or realize that your kitchen needs a new everything? Like thousands of homeowners, you can simply call SprayNet Lincoln. Their patented spray system and paint delivers a flawless factory finish, no mess, done in a day, and cost-effective. It looks just like new, including your vinyl. And it's all backed by their 15-year no-peel warranty. SprayNet Lincoln, custom chemistry and smarter painting. Google SprayNet Lincoln or call them now at 402-383-3336 or email ching@spray-net.com.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Staying healthy and comfortable starts with the air you breathe. If you're noticing more dust, odors, or allergies, it could be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Pure Air starts with cleaner air ducts, pair with enhanced filtration and purifications options, and the difference is amazing. When the air you breathe is clean and fresh, your home smells fresher and your family is healthier. Time for cleaner air in your home? Call Bryant for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has zero hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Moms already know. It's the one time all summer where everything comes together. The kids are happy. The food is incredible. And somewhere between the birthing pavilion and the drone show, your whole family is together in a way that's hard to find anymore. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
When the lights go out, every minute matters. Powerline helps LES respond to outages faster by linking your phone number to your service address. Get ready before the next outage at les.com/powerline.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and new Sierra and Silverado trucks continue to roll in, and August is a great time to upgrade. Right now, get new GMC Sierras for under $50,000 or get 2.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. Visit us in Louisville or anytime at koppelcars.com. Stock number G306367 with approved credit.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Putting a bow on hour 2 of Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Jay, that Lakers sale.
Man.
Quick. Not just the 14 months, year over year sale for Mark Walter, but for Kushner and Iger to just grab a call on a Friday or a Sunday and have it
by Tuesday?
Yeah.
Well, they already were in the system, like approval ratings, right? Because they were trying to get a team in Vegas.
Yes. Yep.
But just imagine the conversation. Hey, man, what you doing? Oh, I'm just chilling, man. I'm talking about yacht, man. Went out there, just had a little fishing trip. Just wanted to, just cruising around a little bit, go to the Dodgers game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, me and my buddy were thinking, man.
DOJ's after you.
Yeah, we seen you got a little heat in the city. Hey, man, how you feel about getting an extra $2 billion? Oh, let me think about it. All right, when are you gonna call me back? I need to know, sooner than later. Give me an hour. I got a dock. I gotta get the boat. I gotta do all that stuff. I gotta pay the captain, and then I gotta drive in. I gotta fight traffic. He's like, man, oh man, that LA traffic might take me a little while. 2 hours max. 30 minutes later. You serious? Yeah. All right, man. I'll text you my wire instructions. Literally. 14 months, make $2.5 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Man. The way you can come up now is just crazy. You gotta have money like that to make money, but obviously there's some external factors that maybe led to it, and it was always weird when you read the article. He started out at what 25%, then he got majority ownership afterwards
Because he
But-
bought most of the bus's stakes, but they're still involved. They still
Right.
have their little minority.
But it was almost like he reluctantly did it. Like, all right, I think I want to do this, and it didn't seem like he was truly invested in the Lakers. Like, I know he was financially, but
yeah, which is interesting because a lot of what he did was try to make the Dodgers and Lakers a super organization, combine a lot of their leadership structure since he owns.
and maybe with the Department of Justice on him, he never really could get to that point. And they were saying that there was another part of the article they were talking about Magic Johnson, the same thing when he was gonna buy into the Dodgers. A lot of his money was tied into like state-owned, state-ran insurance companies, and that can go up and it was kind of weird, and I've never heard of it before. And so sometimes when things don't go the way you want them, it costs you a little bit, and obviously you got some external factors, and it's not a bad landing or soft landing to sell your ownership in the Lakers after probably only going to about 6 games. Let me check out LeBron.
6 games, 3 board
Let me
meetings.
go watch LeBron one more time just in case he doesn't come back. And then you know what? I just made $2.5 billion in 14 months.
Yeah.
And I'm still connected to these guys because billionaires hang out with other billionaires. And I still
Club's
own the
not getting
Dodgers.
much larger.
And he's going to be there. I think he's a majority owner in the Sparks too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And apparently nothing's changing with that.
Yeah.
Nothing with the Dodgers for the time being. But speaking of the Magic Man, still with the Dodgers in some form, I believe. Commanders. Is he part of the Sixers group, or is it just Dodgers and Commanders?
I think it's Dodgers and Commanders.
Because he's with that Josh Harris guy.
Oh,
Remember?
Yeah.
Because they're the I don't know if they're full partners or just associated. But Harris has the Sixers and the Commanders. And I think hockey.
Yeah, he has hockey. Doesn't he have the Capitals? Washington.
I thought it was Leonsis that has the.
Well, I
don't know.
I
I'll
know.
look it up.
He's got. Magic Johnson's winning. He's winning.
The Devils for
Devils.
Josh Harris.
He's winning. And good on him.
I did see this from a couple different people asking the question with the rising valuation of sports teams. I mean, records being set left and right. What does that do for the future of sports? Because a big deal with the Walter takeover of the Dodgers and what they thought was going to happen with the Lakers, which you saw to some extent, was the whole private equity, private business aspect of it. You think about in the NFL specifically, these teams that have been in the family forever, right? You think about the Mara family. You think about the Rooney family, et cetera, et cetera. There's got to be some aspect of sports where it is big business, but they retain some of the mom and pop aspect of it just for ties to the community. Now, there are good things about that, and there are drawbacks with that. There are good things about being sold to these, mega rich people, but there's also going to be some downsides.
Because they're going to want to come in and push everybody out and do their thing.
Right. Efficiency, run it, excuse me, like a business. In a lot of ways, the analytically driven, what's best for profit, which again is, they're right. They have the money. They can own the team. I don't know if it's equal parts, but there are elements of this that has me fascinated to see, and also potentially worried to see the future of sports if there's less of that kind of mom and pop attitude around ownership and more, let's sell to the highest bidder.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit longer time before that goes, like the masses do it at the professional level. It's more interesting to me is seeing if the private equity can come down and start in college and dominate there. I think the college level, with the amount of money that these kids are getting paid, and they're not, they're just not that good. And you have to keep it doing to be viable, to be competitive in teams and universities that, you would never think they would look for outside resources to fund their team. I think you'll see it there before that. But if it gets into the pros.
Ooh, you think? Wouldn't there be something, though, to private equity groups wanting into the structure of NFL first, because we know how the business is run?
But I think these guys make so much money. Like, what's the incentive for Woody Johnson to do it? Robert Kraft, Mike Brown. What's the incentive? They're bit Kroenke. I mean, these are dudes. Their table is different. You know, now, sure, the private equity does help, but maybe in basketball, but I just think in football, like I could see it in the structure would the return on investment is more readily, right? No matter it's not based on the head coach. You know what I'm saying? In the NFL, it's kind of it is, but it's not. You know, I see your point. I think
private equity would want the structure of the NFL because they know the rules they're playing by, but I think they have a bigger opportunity to make an impact in college because of the lack of. They can
dominate more in college and dictate more in college. That's why I think it'd be more appealing. Look at Utah.
Sure.
And maybe that's why like Michigan and USC went against the which was the unanimous vote, and then them two voted against it. That was supposed to go down with the Big Ten teams. Or, you know, it's sometimes, you know, you don't want to give up the control. So I think college, I'll say this, college football for them is like a playground where they can just come in like one of them dragons on the Game of Thrones and just wipe it and just totally control it. Whereas the NFL, you're doing it more as an investment because it's kind of turnkey and you're just putting in money and receiving the money out of it.
Put a dollar bill in, here comes 100 out the other side.
Yeah. Where at college, there's a rule change, a player change, a staff change could really, really affect it.
I will say it is funny. You mentioned all the money players are getting paid in college now. I just took the baseline $20.5 million, which is the full rev share cap, right, for all sports, and multiplied it times that 138. So let's say that all 138 FBS programs are putting the full $20.5 million in. That's $2,829 million. So $2.8 billion.
Oh, then you could just go to your boy from the Lakers.
The NFL on the flip side, Jay, the salary cap is $301 million per team.
Yeah.
Times 30, that's $9,638 million. I mean, for as big a money as there is in college football, the NFL is printing money and then some. Orders of magnitude higher than even college football in that regard.
Yeah, and they'll take it overseas too, so we can get some of that money too.
Right?
Get that. Don't worry. China, England will be there.
Well, that's why the NBA is doing the 3 p.m. game for opening day.
Yeah.
European market.
Yep. And so NFL's touching everywhere. NBA's touching everywhere. So, I mean, I think it's just the private equity is just sitting. And really, to be honest with you, private equity, I think, you know, football franchises are a little bit more safer investment.
Yeah.
When you look at it, I think they are. And that's why I think it's appealing. You know, people love sports. It's a way of life. It's the way people kind of their weeks go. And it definitely affects the outcome of the, income invested and income out.
D-Man says, I was very worried when Broncos ownership went the corporate route, but so far they've done enough to keep me as a fan happy. But we will have to see how it goes.
They are very good right now.
Say, wait and see. Right? Give them time. Hopefully they don't screw it up for you, but don't give them too much credit before they earn it. We will go to break. A full hour 3 of Old School comes your way after this. We'll talk some Nebraska basketball and some Russell Westbrook. He officially retires after 18 NBA seasons. Lots to get to on the hardwood in hour 3.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974, $195 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 10,000 due at signing, no security deposit required, tax, title, and license fees expert, residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again. Joining me in a few moments is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, I would like to share something with you, something that I think is very important for you. By now, most people in Lincoln know that Honda of Lincoln is a great place to buy or lease a new Honda. What most people don't know is Honda of Lincoln is also a great place to sell your car, too. Now I'd like to bring on Andy to tell you more about it.
Thanks, Charlie.
Andy, everyone knows you will trade for all makes and models, but can you tell our listeners about buying their car, whether they get a new vehicle or not?
I sure will, Charlie. It's a win-win for both of us. We need more quality used cars, and if anyone needs to sell a car, we will pay them top dollar. It's really just that simple. When they stop by the dealership, just mention to someone they would like to sell their car, and within minutes, we will have them an offer.
Experience the best Honda of Lincoln, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
When the lights go out, every minute matters. Powerline helps LES respond to outages faster by linking your phone number to your service address. Get ready before the next outage at les.com/powerline.
New from Arbor Axe House comes Benny's Battle Barge, the mobile axe throwing adventure. Perfect for festivals, parties, fundraisers, and celebrations. Charter the barge at arboraxe.com or call Arbor Axe House at 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The Friends with Capital City Mortgage here in Lincoln remind you that the need for blood continues daily. Unfortunately, our blood banks are extremely low. Our community and our country depend on life-saving donors like you. You are eligible to donate every 56 days, and with each donation, you save up to 3 lives. Please go online and schedule an appointment to donate blood today. Thanks to Capital City Mortgage here in Lincoln for making this message possible. They are a shining example of why America is a strong nation.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get 1 half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in hour 3 of Old Schools. You just heard Big Voice Bob tell you we're proudly brought to you by Graham Tire Company, proudly serving the Midwest for more than 75 years. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too, from brakes to oil changes. Trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, we heard this yesterday. Multiple sources reporting. I saw it first from John Rothstein at CBS Sports. DeMarcus Lawrence named as one of 22 new players in the lawsuit in California for players challenging to gain a 5th year of eligibility. Some other interesting names: J.J. Starling in that mix, Takai Simpson, Chisholm Akpara, Isaiah Sellers, et cetera, Trey Holloman, former Michigan State and NC State point guard, Keba Keita. Nebraska saw him against BYU in the exhibition. Xavier Lee, the Princeton transfer who went to Florida. And then, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence. He adds his name to the lawsuit, making a return to Nebraska imminent, more likely, or likelihood about the same.
Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I think, Fred said, hey, look, go do your thing. We'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if DeMarcus didn't have anywhere to go, I think they would work something out. I don't think that Nebraska's pretty tight with their money, so to be honest with you, I think they need DeMarcus.
Okay.
That would not. They could maybe in a reduced role he could be better than some of the other reduced roles guys, in my opinion. Provide something.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. Even if he's not starting, he'd have to accept the role that they would have available to him, excel in that role, and it has to be worth it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be, what is your long-term goals? Why do you want to come back to Nebraska? Obviously, he loves it here and all that stuff and has unfinished business. He wants to take advantage of it. But if he's trying to come in and say increase his points per game by 2 points and get more shots, that's just not, they aren't there.
Not happening.
So, and I don't think he's like that.
But it's why he left the first time. You have to prove that. Again, I thought he did a good job when he came back in terms of role acceptance.
And I think so. That means he can do it again if he's willing to do it in his 5th year. Or if you're looking for a bigger role, there's probably teams in the Big Ten that could use DeMarcus.
Honestly, Jay, the school that came to mind for me was LSU.
Oh, well, yeah.
They just picked up their 5th player yesterday, so there are open roster spots to be had. And DeMarcus has proven he's a power conference player. But I think with the way that Will Wade plays, DeMarcus is athletic enough, I think, to play that style. I think he can, even in the SEC, go get you a bucket from time to time. Yeah, I think LSU would be interesting.
Yeah, you could play at LSU. You could probably Minnesota for sure. I mean, he kind of plays like their deal. I don't know what they have, but I mean, he can. There's plenty of places. Just matter if there's spots open, and you never know what happens in the off season. Some guys that you were supposed to progress, didn't or hadn't yet, and you bring an established veteran that I'm assuming he's in shape and ready to go because you could probably see this coming. Late spring, you're like, all right, this could happen. And then obviously maybe he knew even beforehand you get into this last little lawsuit here, to make it official. But I'm sure his first choice is Nebraska, and I'm sure the lines of communication are open, and hopefully they're open because DeMarcus not only was a really good player, I felt like there was times that, he could have been even better with a little bit less reins on him and less like kind of in the system. So I think it could be an option, but it's just more or less up to Fred and the staff. Is it viable and not to upset the apple carton or what you kind of put together this summer?
I'm completely with you in terms of the theoretical fit of DeMarcus Lawrence on this roster. I think that there'd be a really great argument for him to come in and, start. in terms of, hey, I've been here for 3 years, essentially played first 2, transferred, came back for what was the final season. This will be my 4th year in the system. I know it. I'm down pat. We know that Hoiberg and Lenzer trust him. He's playing shooting guard. He's not a point guard, right? You went out, you got Lenhart. You got DeGorville, who I think is a shooting guard by trade, but has a little bit more of that distribution ability than Lawrence does as the backup ball handler. So I think that the way I would view DeMarcus Lawrence, and okay, take this comparison for what it's worth. I see it was like Jeremy Roach from Duke, or maybe like a Caleb Foster, guys who were asked to run the point, did it okay, but thrived when they were allowed to play off the ball. And I think DeMarcus Lawrence would be much more free to do that. Sure, he dribbled up from time to time. We know how Fred likes to initiate and operate the offense. But I thought it was interesting, Jay, this in light of Sports Illustrated doing some positional rankings for the 26-27 season. And you scroll down their list of shooting guards, which is where I presume DeMarcus Lawrence would be graded and play the most part. The name on the list for the 10 more to watch, Braden Frager.
Yeah.
Listed as a shooting guard. And then in the small forwards, that's where they have Price Sanford. And so either way, right, we know more positionless for Nebraska. It's, who's on the court more so than traditional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point shooting, small power and center. Let's talk about the Fred Hoiberg offense and how do you view Frager and Sanford? Is either one of those guys a shooting guard? Is Nebraska playing one guard and Lenhart 2 wings? How do you view what Nebraska wants to do in that kind of 2 and 3 position?
I view Frager as like a forward, swing forward, whatever you want to call him.
Wing, more wing. 3 of a 4 than 2-3.
Yeah. Until I see the ball handling skills, I don't think you're a shooting guard. That's just
Amen.
Me. And that's not any knock on or whatever, but that's probably something that he went and got in the lab, this offseason. But I think him and Price Sanford's like all of the above.
But is he like a true wing, or do you think Price can swing down to it too?
He could, but do you want to?
Well, that's my thing. Like,
I think you got 1 point guard and rest wings and forward.
The mold I would say for Price Sanford 2 guard is Klay Thompson.
Yeah, but is he locking cats up like that?
Clearly not.
Because that's part of what made Klay's offense that much more easier to get. And you're playing with Steph Curry.
Yeah,
and you got a point forward God in his mind and Draymond Green. So I think
Frager's got to be Iguodala, right? Is that his role?
Yeah, and later Iguodala too that could shoot threes because when he was in Philly, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But he got the Warriors, he could shoot threes. Legit. Yeah, that's it. That's him. So, but
that's a wing.
Right.
That's not a shooting.
So is Jamarcus Lawrence? Could he be Livingston off the bench?
Proto Monte.
Yeah, you'd like him to be like or a Bosa or whatever, where he could break you down or whatever and get in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and be that energy spark off the bench. The kind of complete opposite of Lenhart or whatever. Kind of obviously a bigger guard, probably not as quick.
Taller, lankier.
Yeah, than Jamarcus.
Yeah.
It adds to your lineup, and then you can drive and kick to, the plethora of 3-point shooters. That's whoever's in that grouping or unit. With all that being said, there's definitely a spot for him. I just hope that you don't get to the middle of the season and you're like, dang, we could have had him back at a reduced role, and we probably didn't appreciate him that much. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you might get more out of him. I mean, that's the conversations with Fred and them is like, okay, what's your short-term goal? Obviously, come back to Nebraska, play, be effective in whatever role. And you don't want to. The thing about Jamarcus, you don't want to disrespect him with some rinky-dink role because he's better than that.
Oh yeah. So he started every game for you essentially. Right. I think he did start every game on the best team in school history.
Right. So you want to make sure it's not a rinky-dink role. Then you say, okay, Jamarcus, what's your like long-term aspirations? Like, and if he says maybe to go play professional, let's say like overseas or somewhere, or, like not maybe, well, of course the NBA, but
get his G League tryout, see how it goes, go from there.
Well, then you got to really contemplate: is him coming back going to put you in that position? Will we help that or stymie that? That's all not based on this season, but you obviously as a coach and obviously somebody that he cares about Jamarcus cares about him, so forth and so on. Try to have that conversation with him and try to set forth the path with him or without him, meaning putting him in a position somewhere else to do so. Those conversations are hard. Those aren't just quick conversations. Hopefully the lines of communication are open. I mean, I know a lot of people like, got a lot of respect and admire Jamarcus for what he's been able to do and what he did last year. I think it'd be an asset for the team. I think I like him on this team a little bit more than I originally did. I think with some of the guys that are viewed as the backups, that second unit could, kind of piece together some of the starters with Jamarcus, and I like it a little bit more with a guy that we know that can really, handle the show.
I want to jump off what you said about the rinky-dink role that Jamarcus Lawrence is too good for, right? And you can't disrespect him like that. No matter if I've been misinterpreted in this or whether it's on-air or off-air conversations, I've never been against Jamarcus Lawrence returning to Nebraska because I do think that's a dang good basketball player that knows the system and would fit. Mm-hmm. I also have a very high level of faith, trust, confidence in Fred Hoiberg and his staff being men of their word. And when you think about whose minutes, whose role Jamarcus Lawrence would be taking, I think for the growth of the program, continuing to take the next step, Jamarcus Lawrence would be the most well-rounded guard on that bench. I think DeGorville is still defense first, offense is a work in progress.
Yeah.
I think Jacobson is a good placeholder, a good bench guy, spot starter who's performed better, and I think
Probably
a lot of people would have guessed, but defense first.
Yeah.
And Essegian is offense only. Threes only. I mean, he did hit some middies against Creighton in that road win a couple years ago when he was healthy. So he's grown his offensive game. But I think that Fred Hoiberg and his staff would have told Connor Essegian, hey, this is coming. We like you. You're going to have a bigger role somewhere else because we're anticipating the possibility of Jamarcus Lawrence being back. And maybe Connor Essegian loves it so much at Nebraska he wasn't leaving anyways, and he's okay with it. Same sort of thing for Cale Jacobson, who the staff has loved, raved about behind the scenes for his willingness to play any role, for the development that he's made, the strides he's taken as a ball handler, as a shooter, and who for 2.5 years was the 9th man in an 8-man rotation, the 8th man in a 7th-man rotation. Got his chance last year, played some pretty dang good basketball, and I think his, soft skills, good for the culture. He is one of the leaders on the team. And so I think it'd be a really tricky balance for Nebraska to have told Connor Essegian, hey, there's a role for you. We're keeping you around because we really like what you can bring. To have Cale Jacobson play the best basketball of his career, put legitimate game film out there, and then last minute to pivot to a guy who I think brings both skill sets to the table in Jamarcus Lawrence, and to have to kick them back down the pecking order. Again, I think good for Nebraska in terms of a pure talent level thing. But I think it also would fly in the face of how Fred Hoiberg and his staff would ideally handle these situations, because had Jamarcus Lawrence banked more into the plans and the rotations, I think that changes how they would have approached those earlier offseason conversations. Like, how much we value, that we want you to be part of the rotation, but there's a reason you were behind Jamarcus in the pecking order. If he's back, he's still ahead of you. So either you got to take a big step and outplay him, or, hey, you might not have the role that you got used to. Do with that information what you will.
Yeah, and those are tough conversations to have, especially coming off a magical year.
Yeah.
Because everybody's leveled up. Everybody's benefit off it, obviously coaches and players included. But you got to have those conversations just for the chance that Jamarcus would have had a chance to come back, and that was earlier in the offseason. Hopefully those happened, and then obviously hopefully those continued to happen as this started to catch some steam. And eventually you knew it was going to get through. So, I mean, it's, look, school's starting here in a couple weeks, and probably got a couple weeks after that before you can make a decision, before he has to, Jamarcus in this case, have to come back. Fred's not going to jettison any players late to make it for Jamarcus. He's going to make sure it works.
And like we did the math, they have an open roster spot.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would say why not? I'm looking at it right now. I'm just looking at keep going up and down, looking at the guys. You got Leonard, he's 6'6", 175 in the Big Ten. He's probably 6'4.5". I mean, he's still, a little light, The Gorevilles, you 6'6", 211, bigger, but you like you said, defense first. Colin Rice is hurt, right?
And freshman.
And a freshman. And then you got a season. I mean, there's kind of
Even Lanier in that mix as a freshman. They've raved about him, but
as I'm looking at it right now, there really is. It's really not even a question. You gotta bring him back.
But again, I go back to what you said about the role. What role is he going to play? Again, in a perfect world, yes. But we get to this from Hayden and from Big Hoss. Sounds like a good problem to me. Rather have too many people who can play than no one who can. Yes, obviously. Hayden says, I don't think it's a tricky balance as long as you're making as much as you're making out to be. I think it's a lot simpler than that. If there's a spot, they're taking Lawrence. That's all there is to it. Maybe that's why they kept a spot in mind. But the ego has to come into it. The athletic arrogance. I know you've talked about, DP has talked about, it's a thing. I think that all three of these guys are good players. All three of these guys want to play. Essegian's going to walk into any gym, if his mind is right, and believe he's the best shooter in there. He's going to say, I'm as good a shooter as Price in that role, as he should. Cale Jacobson's going to say, I've put in the work. I've earned this role. And you can only ask guys to sacrifice so much before they're like, coach, before they're selling themselves short.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't get mad at guys that transfer if, they get quote unquote recruited over to some degree, especially if I were Essegian or if I were Jacobson. Of course, they wouldn't be able to transfer because there's not been a coaching change. They wouldn't have the 15-day window or anything. But as much as you love the idea of sacrifice, right? And it's what you should do, what we want our athletes to do. Jay, you've been in locker rooms with guys that have given up a lot, that have been, free agency'd over or recruited over, whatever that is. At some point, good players want to get on the floor, especially when they've proven they can play a role. And it's great that Nebraska has good team culture and good team chemistry. And I don't think that guys like Essegian and Jacobson in this standpoint would be ones to poison the well. But for a team like Nebraska that needs to win on the margins, if there's one or two plays, these guys are a little different in practice, or it changes their approach in the weight room a little bit, or their leadership. Again, not a huge concern, but if you're built on the margins, you're a good player, you can play. Fighting human nature for that long is not an easy ask.
Yeah, but I'd like to think, it just popped in my head that Fred had already talked to the team about the possibility because it's been out there. So it wouldn't catch anybody by surprise. That's when you really kind of can lose your team. Like, oh, I forgot to tell you. I forgot to tell you. That's not even Fred. So
yeah, no, not at all.
Dan from Canopy says Fred's culture can handle this. I don't think it's a bad problem. I just think it's a unique problem that you have to, manage, where you've had guys that have done things that you've asked them to do in order to be viable players, and they've done it. And so players are taking, notice. They either, you want your reward for what you put in work. But when I look at this roster and I look at the possibilities and I look at it and I think about what it's like to be the hunter versus the hunted after you had a historic year, where you're going, kind of like frick and frack at certain positions where you can really cause people problems. I don't think the minutes will be that bad. You just have to make sure that these guys will be okay with sometimes your minutes will be reduced. Number one, either by our offense and guys that are, obviously higher on the depth chart than you, playing a little bit more, or understanding you have a simple role when we're in big games. You're supposed to do A, B, and C, and that's it. And that's for those three, versus coming in and just saying, okay, it's a free for all. So it would be the adjustment for Jamarcus. It would be adjustment for any other player that maybe had thought that, like, I don't know how many minutes Cale expected to play. Say he's expected to play 16. I'm sure maybe more than that on some games than not, but average out 16. Are you willing to go to
9?
Well, dang, Austin, I was going to say like 14 to 12. Because you're going to take minutes from him, piece it together. Yeah, for Jamarcus. So it's not necessarily affecting you one-on-one. It's just understanding, when you get in their non-con, you're going to get a lot of run.
Mm-hmm.
Getting in Big Ten, not so much. And that's for Jamarcus or anybody, just based on a game-by-game basis. I just think you leave a roster spot open. You can bring him back. Ideally, Fred and staff has shown the ability to recruit kids, develop kids, and have a plan, and they've executed. Jamarcus is a byproduct of that. Frager is as well. You got a plan for Sanford. That's worked out. You got plans for other guys. But if you're able to get Jamarcus back for a fifth year, you got to roll the dice because he's not a bad teammate. If he's a guy like that would come in that locker room and change the culture and is a bad teammate, was a bad teammate last year, but they were so talented that they got to the Sweet 16. That's a different conversation. I think it's too many positives for Jamarcus to come back.
I agree. I think there's a lot of good in it.
As long as he's willing to
be the insurance policy and not the plan.
Yeah. And play the role.
Yeah. I think in an ideal world for Nebraska, I mean, obviously there's a lot of names of guys that seem like viable players, but there just don't seem to be that many minutes to go around. So I think it is a delicate but manageable.
Yeah,
situation.
definitely manageable. Definitely manageable. Is do you want to manage? And also, here's a question: since you have a roster spot open, okay, is it disrespectful to Jamarcus that you go pick somebody else up and not Jamarcus?
I think you would, to what you said, you would go to Jamarcus first. But if he wants,
what if you didn't?
Why wouldn't?
I don't know.
Would they go someplace else first?
No, I would not.
No, I'm not saying not you. Do you think they would go to someone else first?
No,
I don't either.
Because if you're barely going to Jamarcus, you ain't going to nobody else.
So you're asking about the list.
Yeah.
List?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm playing this devil's advocate. What if you saw somebody on that list you always wanted to recruit and all that? You're like, oh, I can get him. Fred ain't like that, but I'm just saying. There's all those guys on the list that are talking to their original schools. It's going to happen to one of them. But no, I hopefully it works out for Jamarcus to come back, man.
Yeah, that lawsuit just got filed, and he just got added as a plaintiff about 24 hours ago, actually.
There you go.
So still a developing situation. No longer a developing situation. It's in the books. It's official. Russell Westbrook retires from the NBA. Where's Brody's place among the all-time greats? Let's get into that. 11:30.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
New from Arbor Axe House comes Benny's Battle Barge, the mobile axe throwing adventure. Perfect for festivals, parties, fundraisers, and celebrations. Charter the barge at arboraxe.com or call Arbor Axe House at 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again. Joining me in a few moments is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, I would like to share something with you, something that I think is very important for you. By now, most people in Lincoln know that Honda of Lincoln is a great place to buy or lease a new Honda. What most people don't know is Honda of Lincoln is also a great place to sell your car, too. Now I'd like to bring on Andy to tell you more about it.
Thanks, Charlie.
Andy, everyone knows you will trade for all makes and models, but can you tell our listeners about buying their car, whether they get a new vehicle or not?
I sure will, Charlie. It's a win-win for both of us. We need more quality used cars, and if anyone needs to sell a car, we will pay them top dollar. It's really just that simple. When they stop by the dealership, just mention to someone they would like to sell their car, and within minutes, we will have them an offer.
Experience the best Honda of Lincoln, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
The Friends with Capital City Mortgage here in Lincoln remind you that the need for blood continues daily. Unfortunately, our blood banks are extremely low. Our community and our country depend on life-saving donors like you. You are eligible to donate every 56 days, and with each donation, you save up to 3 lives. Please go online and schedule an appointment to donate blood today. Thanks to Capital City Mortgage here in Lincoln for making this message possible. They are a shining example of why America is a strong nation.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Half an hour or so left to go on Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Company. I'm Austin. He's Jay. And Jay, Russell Westbrook calls it quits yesterday about 1 o'clock Central Time, announces his retirement after an 18-year NBA career. 9-time All-NBA player, 2017 MVP, NBA record for triple-doubles, 42 of them in a single season as MVP, year 11 straight in 2019. 4 seasons that Brody averaged a triple-double, and the second player ever to average a triple-double in a season. Man,
once you start going to Sacramento, what did we say yesterday?
What
do they call it? Purgatory?
Curtains. Yep.
Yeah, that was it, man. It's it's unfortunate because I still feel like he's playing well. He's one of the hardest.
Had a role at least.
Yeah, and he's one of the hardest playing players ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's on 10 every single game, so he never cheated the game. And so I think Russell Westbrook will be appreciated more the longer he's retired. And he's one of the best players of all time. There's no doubt about that. Sure, you could talk about his ego or whatever with KD and leading to the reason why he ended up on the Warriors and all that type of stuff. But ultimately, he's an impact player. I think he's affected how the game is played now, and that's what you really judge yourself on. And there's guys that are trying to be just like him that are playing, baseline to baseline and coast to coast and taking the ball, and they're the fastest guys, with the ball. They're as fast with the ball than without it. And for him to average a triple double for that long, for that many seasons, I mean, we talked about Oscar Robinson doing it or being the only one to be able to do it. So Russell Westbrook did it not only once, twice, 3, 4 times. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. And I want to tip my hat to him. I felt like his tenure at the Lakers and his mindset with the Lakers really wasn't what it needed to be. But when he went to Golden State and all those other places, I thought he was great.
Tried the Denver thing.
Yeah. Or not Golden State,
Yeah,
but Denver. That's what I meant, Denver. I thought he was great. And he was always a guy that, even with the Denver situation with Booth, and they, he needed to bring him back, and they didn't, and then they brought him back, and then at the very last time, it was almost like Booth and some of these GMs just didn't respect how great he was.
Yeah,
like you got one of the greatest of all time willing to come off your bench, and it was somewhat disrespectful at times. But I think he's always been able to bounce back. Now he can go. I mean, he's probably he's gonna hoop till he's 70 years old, giving people work. But tip your hat to him. 18 seasons, great player, lived up, beat expectations.
Late bloomer in high school,
late
just
bloomer.
to get to UCLA.
Right. I mean, he's had a great career. I can't say enough, good things about him.
Some other just news and notes for the statistical side of things for Russell Westbrook. Last year became the career leader in rebounds for a point guard. Pretty cool. Him and LeBron, the only two players in NBA history with 25K points and 10K assists. 5th in NBA history in career assists behind Stockton, Paul, Kidd, and LeBron. 14th career scoring. Only 3 active guys ahead of him are LeBron James and his 2 former Thunder teammates, Durant and Harden. 4th most points ever by any player not to win an NBA championship, behind the Mailman, the Beard, and Melo. So all very interesting. We'll get to the hypotheticals on the text line there. Jay, I was never really a huge Russell Westbrook guy earlier in his career. I was much more of a KD guy. I just vibe with that style of play, the uniqueness that we've never seen, or rarely seen from Kevin Durant, how silky smooth he was. And I ran into some of this in my personal affiliations later when it's RJ Barrett taking all the last second shots as opposed to Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
And I never quite vibed with Russ's headstrong nature. That's how we got there. I mean, great reputation off the court in the community. I mean, hands down, one of the best teammates guys ever played with. You'll hear that from everyone. I grew into an appreciation for Russ later in his career, to see him still fighting the good fight, for being as durable as he was. And I think the best compliment I can pay Russell Westbrook, he was the Michael Jordan of John Wall's, right? Russell Westbrook didn't come in as highly rated as John Wall, as Derrick Rose maybe did right off their college careers. But Russ outlasted him. The athleticism still pops. He never got hurt to the degree that those guys did. It didn't seem to affect them. Of that, late 2000s kind of mold of guards, super explosive, super athletic, couldn't really shoot consistently. Russell Westbrook was clearly the defining guy of that group and made it work the longest.
Yeah, I totally agree. John Wall was a good rebounding guard, and Russell Westbrook kind of like just obliterated, his prowess. And look, a late bloomer sometimes works out to your advantage because you have so much more room to improve. And he came in the league hungry to prove everybody wrong and prove himself right. And he did that. And, and also I think he developed his outside shot enough to where it wasn't a detriment. It was more of an asset at times. He became a decent 3-point shooter, which was always like the knock on him. And I think like I said, he's reshaped the way that the point scoring guard kind of has been looked at. And you see some guys that got drafted this year that do some of the things that Westbrook is done, maybe not the same way. And it's been very successful for those guys that get drafted in the NBA. And look, you could start a franchise with Russell Westbrook. Sure.
Seattle tried.
The headstrong stuff with KD, it wasn't all Russell Westbrook. We know KD now.
Yeah.
We didn't know KD then.
And we know James Harden now, too.
We know James Harden now more than we knew then. And they were young. They were so young then. I mean, and so you hated that their friendship kind of went sideways. Russell was hurt, rightfully so. They probably had some deep conversations, but ultimately, Russell as a player, as a community leader, as a locker room guy and a teammate, he's first class all the way.
The hypothetical that we get here on the text line, of course, comes from Gus Mohawk. One of the biggest what ifs in NBA history is if Oklahoma City keeps Durant, Harden, and Westbrook, why couldn't OKC make it work? I think number one is salary cap, right? You hadn't had the boom. Yeah, that came 4 or 5 years later. Would have gone a long way to help. I don't think it was Sam Presti's fault necessarily. I think that's one of the best GMs in the modern NBA. So I'm sure he tried to make it work. But Jay, when you think about a big three in, that era, you would go to San Antonio. Now, they were certainly more established at that point. But Harden, Westbrook, and obviously Durant all came out like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You had time in San Antonio. You had essentially 2 years between all these guys, right? Duncan comes out number 1 overall in 97. Ginobili comes out 57th overall in 99. In Parker's tail end of the first round there in 2001. Duncan was established. Ginobili had to find his footing, came off the bench, international flavor. Same thing for Parker coming out of France. But those guys fit into the pecking order, right? You knew when Ginobili and Parker got there, it was Duncan's team.
Yeah.
And he brought those other two guys along. Not that, being highly drafted means everything, but all three of Durant, Westbrook, and Harden were very highly drafted. I think all top 5, I think all top 10 at very least picks in their respective drafts. And they came out in much more rapid succession with the franchise move, with a younger head coach in Scott Brooks, not as established as Greg Popovich was. And so
in the culture,
right. And those three guys help mold it and shape it. But if that group sticks together, there's not a Tim Duncan in that mix. There's not a Ginobili in that mix. There's not a Parker in that mix. They're all three completely different players than that trio that worked so well together. We saw it work for OKC. They made it work because that much talent, it's hard for it not to be successful in some form or fashion. But that group sticks together. I don't think KD's the player he is. That group sticks together. Harden's not the player he is. And most of all, that group sticks together. Westbrook is not the icon that he turned into in OKC.
Yeah, I mean, if they stick together, and the best scenario for them, they would at least gotten one championship, particularly the one with when they were up, against the Warriors. You had one championship, and then
knocking off the 73 win team,
and then they would have the whole outlook on OKC with these guys. You would have had 2 of the big 3 stay.
Yeah,
and you can't blame James Harden. Came off the bench and then obviously leveled up. Houston was a place that really needed a spark because they had been on the downturn. And now he's off to the races. Now he's a great player as well. So it is one of the biggest what ifs. What if they all stayed together? What if KD, Russ, I don't know. I mean, sure James Harden or all stayed together. Or James Harden played that same role. How another year or two mature to get better, deal with some adversity, deal with some success, and you push through and get a championship.
Yeah,
it is the automatic. It is one of the biggest what ifs. What if Russell Westbrook didn't give up his aggressiveness and his energy, but what if Russell Westbrook knew better when to turn it on and off, when to be the distributor, when to be the closer?
It's just such a hard ask for a guy like Russ because that's how he got there. And
but he's done it at times. If you can't have a triple double without distributing the basketball.
But it was predicated on getting downhill, right?
But,
even in Denver, that's why it didn't work with Jokic for a while, right?
But it eventually did, and more importantly, Austin, when KD was at that point in his career, he was looking at LeBron, like who's that? You have to know that, and then you also have to be able to distribute the basketball to a player like KD, because you should know KD better than we do when we're just seeing a 20-second clip of their interaction or lack thereof.
Even a 48-minute game,
right,
or a series, you should know him better.
You should know him better. Russell should, and knowing how he reacts, the conversations that they have, you should pick up on some of those tendencies. But ultimately, you want to give Russell Westbrook, his flowers. Today's his day. He was a great player, man. He was a great player and an even better dude. And that's the best compliment I can give you.
Last thing for this segment, we'll go to break. Russell Westbrook's agent, Jeff Schwartz, he's with Excel Sports Management. He's the founder and CEO. Tweeted out then after Russ retires, incredible. The Lakers sell for $12 billion, yet teams won't spend on older vets because of current CBA rules.
There it is.
Thank you, Union.
And we talked about that with Kyle Kuzma. Remember he said that? And somebody else is like, it's essentially it's the have and have nots.
Mm-hmm. And Russ didn't want to go out on a vet min.
Yeah. Well, stand on business.
That he did. 18 years of it. Russell Westbrook retires from the NBA. We'll go to break. More wrap up Old School after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Guys, if you're dealing with low back pain or trouble urinating, don't just live with it. These could be signs of treatable conditions. At Advanced Medical Imaging, their interventional radiologists specialize in minimally invasive procedures designed to relieve symptoms and improve your quality of life without major surgery. June is Men's Health Month. Take the step. Call Advanced Medical Imaging today to schedule a consult and find out what AMI can do for you.
New from Arbor Axe House comes Benny's Battle Barge, the mobile axe throwing adventure. Perfect for festivals, parties, fundraisers, and celebrations. Charter the barge at arboraxe.com or call Arbor Axe House at 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2026 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 22nd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep-fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
If you like freedom Freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Floor and find the best luxury vinyl, tile, hardwood, laminate, carpet, and experts at Freedom Flooring. Visit our showroom at 4815 South 14th Street in Lincoln. If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Flooring, a Shaw Floors dealer.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Last segment of Old School for the day. Huge thank you to Graham Tire for their sponsorship of the show. I'm Austin. He's Jay. And we get this from the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line here, Jay, to wrap up the Russell Westbrook conversation. Gus Mohawk wants to know, where does Russell Westbrook rank among the point guards of his generation? I know that's a little nebulous, but I'm thinking from the time Russ was drafted in like 08 through, I don't know, say like that 16-17 run, 18-19 run would be his prime, that 10-year stretch potentially, maybe a little further. But who are some of the names that come to mind for you, at least for the company that Russ is keeping among point guards of his generation, however
like
you
Chris
define
Paul?
it? That's where I went. Yeah.
Probably number one. Like him, love him, or hate him.
Mm-hmm. Point guard. Here's some of the names I came up with during break, trying to think through this question. Steph, listed as a point guard. They play it completely different ways. Dame Lillard, ran point, completely different play styles. John Wall came into the league, Russ clears him. Derrick Rose, Russ clears him. Drew Holiday, Russ clears him. Is there a debate between Russ versus Kyrie?
It's Kyrie.
Kyrie's got the ring.
It's Kyrie. Say it with me. It's Kyrie.
Probably. Russ has an argument, though. I mean, the counting stats are there. The durability is there.
That's a hot topic in debate. But
I
guess if you just go off of just put out the facts and the stats, then yeah.
He clears Kemba.
Oh, for sure.
He clears Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
I'm just scrolling through some other names here. Not a lot of, Dame in that 2012 draft.
Top 5, and he's not 5.
Yeah, I think we can.
Top 5, he's not 5.
I think that's fair. Yeah, we can work with that. NFL preseason tonight, Jay. It rolls along. Colts, Pats, fun schedule.
If it's as exciting as the last one with the backup quarterbacks, I mean, I'm all for it. I think anytime you get football on TV, you got to take advantage and watch it.
Your games tonight for your lunchtime lineup: Detroit at Cincinnati, Green Bay at Pittsburgh in the Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy Bowl, Colts at Patriots, Cardinals at Raiders, Chargers at Texans, and Titans at Niners. Watch out, Titans. The substation's there.
Yeah, but they've been fighting essentially all week. So I want to see what the young guys are going to do in the game because the veterans got to get the day off. So it's going to be pretty intense. You got Robert Saleh, who feels like, that's his defense. The head coach now is going against your old team. You want to prove yourself. Obviously with Chippy this week in practice on both sides. Hopefully the game has some fireworks. But ultimately, I just want to see some good football.
Green Bay and Pittsburgh, I would love to be interested by, but I'm just not a Pittsburgh believer this early necessarily.
No, it's going to be interesting to see how they mold this offense with Aaron Rodgers and obviously Pittman and Metcalf and running backs and the better offensive line. It's interesting that McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers are both, in my opinion, for what they did, and especially Aaron Rodgers, what they did for the Packers organization, both of them got shunned pretty quickly. And disrespectfully in some ways too. So yeah, I mean, that if it was a regular season game, it would be really spicy. But preseason game, it's all kind of like, hey, let's just get through this and move on to the next. So
Detroit, Cincinnati, A lot of interesting storylines for those two teams. Colts apparently have looked pretty decent up at New England.
Yeah.
Chargers, Texans, I mean, AFC Championship preview? Probably not, but I mean, I think both those teams have potential.
Well, yeah, and like I said, if the Stars were playing, it was like, okay, what does C.J. Stroud look like that's different from last year?
Mm-hmm.
What did they change to really show how well or how good C.J. Stroud is and can be? And that's not going to be the case. Now, a lot of these teams have practiced against each other all week, and so they've made improvements there, but we won't see it on TV or the highlights. We see a lot of guys that maybe we watched last year didn't know who was, in college football, and that's also a special part of the preseason.
The less than special part of the preseason is that we have betting lines for preseason games. Do not bet on the backups. Put the phone down. Put the wallet down.
Unless you've been at every single practice.
Do it.
Unless you found a way into the 15 play, play drive that's already kind of preset. Don't do it.
Even if you have.
Don't do it.
Even if you have.
If you got some people, they've probably been at open practices and think they know what's going to go. Oh, he's going to play. And then you know what's going to happen to those guys? They never play.
Well, if you've been to Colorado's open practice, you can't share what you've seen. So
I respect that.
Different story for different.
Everybody was on DM. And leave Prime alone.
Prime does it to himself sometimes, Jay.
That is true.
Can we admit that much?
Yes, he does. He does bring the smoke to himself.
We bring the smoke 9 to noon. Monday through Friday, 93.7 ticketfm.com. If your car is smoking, take it to Graham Tire. It's not a good sign. Graham Tire will get you fixed up right. More than just tires, everything's from brakes to oil changes, car, light, truck repairs. Check them out all across Lincoln and the greater Midwest. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Another full 3 hours of Old School for you. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Guys, if you're dealing with low back pain or trouble urinating, don't just live with it. These could be signs of treatable conditions. At Advanced Medical Imaging, their interventional radiologists specialize in minimally invasive procedures designed to relieve symptoms and improve your quality of life without major surgery. June is Men's Health Month. Take the step. Call Advanced Medical Imaging today to schedule a consult and find out what AMI can do for you.
When your business is ready for its next move, I'm here to help make it happen. I'm Corey Vandeweghe, Commercial Loan Officer at Midwest Bank on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Lincoln is full of bold ideas and hardworking business owners, and I'm proud to support the people driving that progress. Whether you're launching something new or investing in growth, I'll work with you to find lending solutions that move your business forward. Swing in anytime. I'd love to hear what you're building. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2026 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 22nd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools with